station that powers relevant radio. This is Citi 97.3.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation. The Citi Breakfast Show.
Over Satan power, as I ain't more. I'm an overcomer. Yes, we're doing more. Over Satan power, as I ain't more. See, I'm an overcomer. I say yes, we're doing.
Yes, we're doing. Over Satan power, as I ain't doing. I'm an overcomer.
I say yes, we're doing more.
Yes, we're doing. Over Satan power, as I ain't doing. I'm an overcomer.
Abadina, one into Hosanna.
Hosanna,
I am for Hinarbo.
Hosanna,
Jesus Nurbano.
Hosanna,
I am for Hinarbo.
Hosanna,
One into Hosanna.
Hosanna,
Jesus Nurbano.
Hosanna,
I mean, I won't born say.
Hosanna,
Jesus Nurbano.
The Citi Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise.
Who is this King of glory? He's the Lord strong and mighty.
6:23.
Yes, we're doing Kunimo.
Welcome to Tuesday, the 29th of November.
Overcomer. Listen, no weapon fashioned against me shall.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, live on your dial 97.3 FM. Good morning, bonjour, buenos dias. It's another day.
See, I'm an overcomer.
A day after the crazy events from the Education City Stadium.
I was saying,
Oh, Lord. My name is Nathan Quao, sitting in for Bernard Avila. Join me, let's have breakfast.
see, I'm an overcomer.
Join us on the number 0549 986 996.
Kunim.
yes, we're doing.
On Twitter at Citi973. Hashtag CityCBS. And if you are listening to us
As I ain't doing.
via the internet, then it's definitely via citynewsroom.com.
One into Hosanna.
Hosanna,
I am for Hinarbo.
Hosanna,
Jesus Nurbano.
Hosanna,
I am for Hinarbo.
Hosanna,
One into Hosanna.
Sounds of Coda,
I mean, I won't bother say.
this very popular one. But we start off with our business sense.
I am for Hinarbo. Kojo, come on.
Brought to us by ADB. ADB is bringing you the Payday Plus. If you are looking for some money to sort out an urgent problem before payday, speak to ADB. They've got the Payday Plus. It gives you access to about 10,000 cedis or 80% of your next net monthly salary. And it's for those workers who receive their salary through ADB. Contact Meredith on 0243 273 369 or now on 0244 284 197.
Yes, we're doing Kunim.
yes, we're doing.
ADB, truly a great and more.
Satan power, as I ain't doing. I'm an overcomer.
I say yes, we're doing Kunimo.
Yes, we're doing.
And our business sense this morning comes from Stephen Covey, who says leadership is a choice, not a position. Leadership is a choice, it's not a position. When you decide to lead, it's a decision you make to grow yourself, to learn, and to understand what it takes to go through the mill. And then when you get to that point, all that you do is a choice. You have to choose to build your team, build the people under you, let them grow to become the best that they can be. But leadership in itself is not a position. You don't get to a point and say, hey, you are a leader. Leadership is a choice that's based on what you decide to do. And all those things come together to show that yes, you are leading, to show that yes, you are in leadership. So let's chew on that this Tuesday morning. That's our Business Sense, brought to us by ADB. ADB, truly a great and more. The newspaper review comes up next. This is the Citi Breakfast Show. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
Yes, we're in Kunima. See, I'm an overcomer. Listen, no weapon fashioned against me shall prosper. For the greater one lives in me, yes, it does. Yes, yes, we're in Kunima. See, I'm an overcomer. I say, yes, we're in Kunim.
Yes, we're in Kuni. Over Satan power. Desire in Kuni.
See, I'm an overcomer.
I'm an overcomer.
I say, yes, we're in Kunim.
Yes, we're in Kuni. Over Satan power. Desire in Kuni. I'm an overcomer.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest.
What do you get when you mix the best DJs in the country, the most amazing live band sets, delicious cocktails, and wonderful food? Back-to-back hit music from Ghana's finest group, Prayer, and being serenaded by the brilliantly talented Aquabua. The biggest outdoor party, of course. Situation 2022. Are you ready to party? We are changing the situation on December 24, 2022 with the biggest outdoor party in Accra. The Situation Outdoor Party 2022. Let's wrap up the year in style with the most epic party to end all parties this Christmas Eve with Situation. Make your Christmas Eve come alive with the most incredible DJs who will keep you dancing all night long. Amazing live band sets and the crooner Aquabua. It is the perfect ingredient for the best party this festive season. Ain't no party like a city party, because a city party don't stop. This will be another one to remember. Date Saturday 24th December 2022. Venue La Palm Royal Beach Hotel, Accra. Time 8 p.m. Dress code, it's an all-white affair. For table booking, call 020-5973-973 or 055-8973-973. Book your table and make reservations now. Media partners, Ghana Weekend and Citi FM. This is powered by Citi TV. This is a Beyond the Return event.
Are you ready?
Kweku Flick with a Black Star song. He saw something months ago that all of us didn't see. That was going to be a Kudus game. Wowza. The newspaper review is up next. Brought to us by Total Energies. Total Energies is a 3-time winner of the Petroleum Company of the Year award, handed out by the CIMG. And these days, you find Total Energies marketing in the CIMG Hall of Fame for petroleum. And they are saying that they are not backing down. They ain't letting up. They still give you the best of products and services that meet your needs. Fidelity Bank is also bringing us the newspaper review. And these days, we all need cash. And they are making 100,000 CDs available at the end. So you can win. All you have to do is deposit and maintain 300 CDs and multiples of it in your Fidelity account every month. And you could be a winner. All of this is part of the Fidelity Sikaboom promo. And they are doing this in partnership with NLA on the Caritas Lottery platform. Open your Fidelity account today and make that deposit and be a winner. T's and C's, of course, apply. Fidelity Bank, believe with us. And the segment is also brought to us by Kel Chaco Toothpaste. Happy smile. Kudus day. Kudus game. Are you ready? Kudus day. Let me welcome Godfred Akotoboafo to the newspaper review. Morning, how are you doing?
Well, how else can I feel? It's a great morning.
I'm saying that Kweku Flick saw something we all didn't.
Good for Kweku Flick. He has a hit on his hands.
Yeah, he has a hit.
Yesterday, the whole country was just one happy place.
Delirium, really.
One happy place. Congratulations to the Black Stars. They did well. Really brilliant performance. The last 10 minutes of the game. Whew,
hell.
Somebody, as soon as they showed the 10 minutes, somebody on my platform asked, "Why no?" Like, just asking who died, because this one, it was 10 minutes of hell. But I know who danced yesterday. Richard Alaska.
Charlie.
Richard Alaska.
Charlie, but the worst thing you can ever do in your life is to watch football match with your wife. Or some woman, Charlie. You will know peace. Every single Charlie.
Every incident is an incident.
Charlie.
Every incident is an incident.
No, Charlie, no. I
was total drama yesterday.
Charlie, it was drama. Charlie, the last 10 minutes.
It was worth getting your shirt.
Yeah, Charlie. No. Charlie.
I saw yesterday's 10 minutes were the longest 10 minutes of people's lives.
Yeah, I saw a tweet yesterday.
What did he
Very
say?
interesting tweet. He said now women realize how long 10 minutes is. I don't know what to think of that.
What I think of it, let's go to the papers immediately. Front page of the Daily Graph.
Wow.
Kudos to Bruce.
Yeah,
Morris Sponsor. Thank you. Those are he's had it in his drafts for a long time. Kudos to Kudus as Ghana upsets South Korea. Uruguay next. Debate on 2023 budget begins today. Focus on tax enforcement, agro-industry. Experts' advice.
Let me take you to the Chronicle for this morning. Who speaks for the poor? Better Ghana Management Services Limited disobeys court ruling, refuses to pay 464,905 Ghana cedis to 179 workers. Comes with a photograph of the Minister for Employment and Labor Relations. Also this morning, we are told $150 million to address climate change and others in northern regions. And kudos kudos to kudus.
Yes.
It
looks like when Maurice Kwanzaa was writing it, they were just making a peek.
Hold on.
Kudos to kudus. Yeah, same thing.
Yeah, the same thing.
Yes.
Daily Graphic has the same.
Yes.
Kudos to kudus.
I see.
Yes. All right, let me take you to the front page of the Anchor newspaper. Aliska, you'll enjoy this headline. Hobson Adoye fired from national security, but says Nyaminti Yebedidi.
I come with you,
Yes, this Nyaminti.
I come with group.
PMMC to spearhead gold for oil deal. New doctors finally accept postings to deprived areas. Bulsa South MP demands action.
Let me take you to the Finder 2023 budget. 900 million Ghana cedis for SMEs agri business. Also, we are told that President Akufo-Addo joins football lovers to celebrate the Black Stars of Ghana, and Catapult staff are GPHA employees offering support, according to management. Some other stories here, including former President Mahama rally support for government to revive economy.
The Daybreak's front page has Magnifique Kudus. Oh, that's the headline. Yeah,
Magnifique.
We finished.
And I take you to the Ghanaian Times. Support government to revive economy. Mahama urges Ghanaians. Also on the front page this morning, reject portion of budget inimical to workers' welfare. The TUC is rallying its workers. Also, Omanhene MP vowed to prevent mining in their area, and Stars restore hope after beating South Korea. President loads team for exploits.
Let me just give you one a headline from the graphic business and then over to you, Nathan. Debt restructuring. Eurobond holders face 30% cut. T-bill investors exempt. BOG aims to tame inflation with rate hike. Government outlines 7-point agenda for economic recovery. And national carrier to be called Ghana Airlines.
I see. All right.
Okay. The Economy Times says this morning, CD4, government to increase gold reserves to be used for imports. VAT increased by 2.5% amidst public agitation. And something here that says 93.0 billion Ghana cedis added to public debt due to CD depreciation.
All right, if you go online, citynewsroom.com says MPs to begin debate on 2023 budget today.
Okay.
Moses Asaga skeptical about government's proposed gold for oil move. Finance minister must be open with Ghanaians. That's according to the Right Honorable Speaker Alban Bagbin. And freeze on public sector employment could deepen problems. That's coming from the TUC. Plus, CTAG resolves to remain on strike. If you go to citybusinessnews.com, they say major mining companies were consulted on gold for oil policy. Bank of Ghana increases monetary policy rate to 27%. Talo Ghana committed to skills transfer. That's according to its managing director. And trade surplus hit $1.87 billion in October. If you go to myjoyonline.com, they also have a raft of stories. Joe Jackson is saying Council of State is receiving more money than the Food and Agric Ministry.
Oh, really?
Yes, that's what Joe Jackson is saying. On the World Cup, Mohamed Kudus inspires Black Stars to beat South Korea. And you chased and caught your dreams. Baumia congratulates Black Stars. And World Bank concerned about Ghana becoming more reliant on natural resource extraction. So that's coming from the World Bank. StarFM.com.gh, they also have some stories. Of course, they've got Ghana edge out South Korea. Policy rate hits 27%. Cost of borrowing to go up further. And don't implement act banning importation of some used vehicles. Trade Ministry to GSA. And if you go international, the BBC says Chinese police clamped down after days of protest. And golden era of UK-China relations over, says the UK PM Rishi Sunak. And Russian anger as Pope labels ethnic groups cruel. And world's largest active volcano erupts in Hawaii. All right. And on the sporting note, there are two very interesting games in the World Cup today. Wales versus England, that's the home nation derby. And the greatest political match of them all, USA versus Iran.
Serious matters
yesterday, the pre-match presser, what the Iranians did to the US players.
It was brutal.
Charlie, they didn't ask about football.
What were they doing?
Charlie, they were asking questions about discrimination. About Charlie. It got to a point, the US coach was like, I'm just a soccer coach. The man said, hey, answer the question. Anyway, let me take you to the front page of the Daily Graphic and then give you the big story. Kudos to Kudus. Says that Mohammed Morris Kwanzaa writes from Doha, where he's looking very nice. Hey, Morris.
Boys are chilling.
Mohammed Kudus proved yesterday that he was the man for the big occasion, scoring twice as Ghana's Black Stars survived the second half scare to steal a deserved 3-1 victory over South Korea in their Group H clash at the Education City Stadium. It was a pulsating match, a tale of two halves as the Koreans fought back from a 2-goal deficit to cancel first half goals by Mohamed Salisu and Kudus and pounded Ghana's goal area with incessant attacks that brought out the best from goalkeeper Lawrence Atizigi and some strong defending by the Ghanaians. However, it took another great strike by the gifted midfielder in the 68th minute to restore the lead with the winning goal.
Yep, now we must beat Uruguay to make it to the next stage of the competition, right? It's a must.
Effectively avoid defeat.
Yes.
Effectively avoid defeat.
Yeah, but if the other people beat the other people plenty, like the other people seasonal people,
then there could be a problem. Okay, bottom line, so just go and win.
Let's go and win, right? Yeah, so we avoid all the economics. Okay, let me take you to the Ghanaian Times newspaper, page 17. Something's happening. Workers are not happy. Now, the TUC is directing all workers and MPs for that matter to reject portion of budget inimical to workers' welfare. The story by Nyako Adams says that members of the Trade Union Congress have called on the leadership of the organization to reject portions of government's 2023 budget statement, which they describe as inimical to the welfare of workers. They cited the freeze on unemployment in the public and civil services, removal of threshold on electronic transaction levy, e-levy, tax waivers for businesses in agricultural imports, increase of VAT by 2.5%, amongst others, are some of the portions that should be rejected. Now, the members were speaking in Accra yesterday at a post-budget forum organized by the TUC in collaboration with the Friedrich Ebert Foundation.
Okay, talking about the budget, members of Parliament will today begin debate on the 2023 budget statement that was presented last week. Sky, like you indicated, portions of the budget have been met with opposition as industry players lament the impact it will have on their businesses and livelihoods. The government intends for the budget to focus on strategies to restore and stabilize the macro economy, build resilience, and promote inclusive growth and value creation. So the members of Parliament will be going through the documents and they will debate it on the floor. Okay,
let me take you to the graphic business. There's a lot happening with the economy. Debt restructuring. Eurobond holders face 30% cut. Says that domestic bondholders face steep interest rate cuts and lengthening of tenure on their investment as the government seeks a debt exchange program to qualify for a loan from the IMF. Investors of Eurobonds, which are foreign currency denominated debts, will also have to contend with both interest rate cuts and the loss of up to 30% of the principal amount invested. Domestic debt investors will be asked to exchange their existing securities for new ones that may offer a 0 coupon in the first year, 5% in the second, and 10% in the third year. A Deputy Minister of Finance, Dr. John Kumar, said in a post-budget interview that, quote, "These are proposals and we will soon start negotiations with both local and foreign bond holders."
There's something interesting that former President John Dramani Mahama is saying in the Times for this morning. He's saying that unity is key to help the economy out of its current challenges. And that story is by Lydia Fojo and Rafia Abdul Razak from WA. And it says that former President John Dramani Mahama has called on Ghanaians to join hands in the government's efforts to put back the economy on track. Now, this, he said, was the only way the country's economy could be saved from the imminent collapse that is staring at it. There's a quote here that says, "Let us all hold hands together as Ghanaians beyond political and family considerations to make sure that we recover this economy. If you are in a position and you are happy with what is happening now and the economy collapses, there will be no country to inherit even if you win power in 2020. This is a very, very smart one. Thank you, Mary.
Let me give you some more news that will not make businesses happy. On the back page of the graphic business, interest rate hits all-time high of 31%.
The people have increased.
Yes. Average rates on loans given to individuals and businesses by banks in the country stand at 31% at end October 2022. This is on account of increments in the Bank of Ghana's policy rate, which subsequently leads to an increase in the Ghana reference rate and risk assessment charge on its borrowers. The rise in average lending rate means high cost of borrowing by individuals and particularly businesses, which translates into high cost of doing business.
Okay. Well, the Monetary Policy Committee of the Bank of Ghana has increased the monetary policy rate by 250 basis points to 27%. So this will have a further impact on loans and
That is
all
what
of
has
that.
hit the interest
Yeah,
rate.
that's right.
Yeah.
And we're still talking about the what do you call it? The interest rates. Let me take you to page 26 of the Ghanaian Times. There's a story that says SME's reluctance to repay loans increases cost of borrowing. Yunusa Esando writes for the Ghanaian Times and says the head of business advisory services for the Ghana Export and Import Bank, Mr. Frank Obeng, has identified that the reluctant behavior put up by most small and medium-sized enterprises in the country in the payment of their loans increases the cost of borrowing. Now, he noted that banks charge interest based on certain factors, including risk factor. Therefore, the non-payment by SMEs did result in high-risk premium charged by banks. Now, it's not only happening in these the traditional banking institutions. People are not paying their Momo and related. If you tell people work for you, want to pay them the same matter.
Let me find a number for you.
Tell them what is that?
Please, I'll find a number for you, Sky. Let me tell you about this gold for oil deal. On page 3 of the Anchor, they are saying that the central bank has disclosed that the government's new policy to buy oil products with gold rather than US dollar reserves will be spearheaded by the Precious Minerals Marketing Company. And this is part of a new release. But let me tell you about Yebedidi.
Yebedidi, a combo group.
Yes. On page 5 of the same paper, a firm believer of the Alan for President campaign, Hobson Adoy, has officially been ousted from government. The 2020 failed parliamentary aspirant for Katamanso on the ticket of the MPP was fired from his job at the National Security Ministry, where he has been since 2017. He appears to have incurred the wrath of people who are not happy with his open campaign to get the Trade and Industry Minister elected as the NPP's next flag bearer. Interestingly, Mr. Adoy, who seems pained by his removal, took to social media to announce his exit, but insists Nyaminti Yebedidi.
He's joined the Unemployed Graduates Association. No, it will be well. Don't worry. We all day inside. We the manage our small. So problem no day. Now let me take you to the story by the Chronicle that is dealing with this Better Ghana Management Services Limited disobeying court ruling. This is an allegation. Now, Agnes Ansah writes for the paper and says Better Ghana Management Services Limited, a subsidiary of Jospon Group, has reportedly defied the Ghana Labour Commission and Labour Court rulings, directing it to pay 464,905 Ghana cedis, being 5 months' salary arrears, to 179 workers contracted to work for the company between 2013 and 2015. Now, the 464,905 Ghana cedis also constitutes accrued interest, leave commuted into cash and other costs of the workers. Now, according to the workers, they have resorted to the media because not even orders from the National Labour Commission and the court could push their former management to pay them their salary arrears. And it goes on to tell you about what the lawyers are doing, a petition to the LMC, NLC lawyers, their response to the matter and related matters. If you're interested in this story, page 9 of the Chronicle.
Okay, page 4 of the Anchor newspaper has some good news. It says that the Minister of Health, Kukwajima Menu, has revealed that some 110 doctors have accepted postings to deprived and unserved areas across the country. It follows the advertisement of vacancies in these hospitals by the Ghana Health Service after financial clearance was given to the ministry. It was answering questions in Parliament questions posed by the Member of Parliament for Busa South Constituency, Dr. Clement Apak.
Let me take you to a story on page 15 of the Economy Times. The story is curled from the GNA and says Ghana IMF agree on strategy for economic recovery. And they're quoting the Minister for Finance, Ken Ofori-Atta. And they said, Mr. Ken Ofori-Atta, the Minister for Finance, says Ghana and the International Monetary Fund have agreed on a strategy for the country's economic recovery. Now, the strategy includes a preliminary fiscal adjustment path and financing requirement to help Ghana navigate through the current economic difficulties. Mr. Ofori-Atta, who delivered the budget statement and economic policy to Parliament last week, said the strategy will be in line with government's post-COVID-19 program for economic growth and recovery and related matters. If you go back to that same newspaper, there's a story here that says that review extractive tax regimes. Mine workers are talking. And the Ghana Mines Workers Union has joined calls for the review of all extractive tax regimes in the 2023 budget to ensure Ghana derives adequate benefits from the sector. Now, according to its General Secretary Abdul Mumin Bana, based on the current economic situation of the country, it is imperative for the introduction of new tax regimes to boost the sector's revenue contribution to the national economy. That's a very important, call, especially as yesterday you were saying we benefit, our benefit from the extractive sector, gold, for instance, 20%, when elsewhere people are doing over 50% and more.
Well, let me take you to page 14 of the graphic business, where the new national carrier called Ghana Airlines.
Ghana Airlines.
The former one was what?
Ghana Airways.
Yes.
I see.
Ghanaians can be assured of a new national carrier next year in line with the government's vision to make Ghana an aviation hub in West Africa. Consequently, the government was finalizing the necessary documentary procedures in order to make the proposed national carrier operational, which will be known as Ghana Airlines. This was disclosed by the finance minister. Looks like all the agreements have been signed. We'll break down who owns what of this airline later on, but some good news, yes.
Okay, let me take you to some human interest stories. Page 10 of the Finder newspaper has a story that says, reduce dependence on men to curb gender-based violence. This story says Mr. Esifu Ansa, a legal officer at the Commission on Human Rights and Administrative Justice, Shiraj, has urged women to develop their skills to gain employment. Now, he said this would enable them to become self-reliant and their overdependence on their husbands and end gender-based violence in the country. Mr. Ansa gave the advice at a sensitization program organized to commemorate this year's 16 days activism against sexual and gender-based violence.
Well, the Ministry of Youth and Sports is busy doing something that I don't like, but it's what it is. Ministry, Ghana Mission mobilized 1,000 funds. That's what's on page 31 to support Black Stars in Qatar. The Ministry of Youth and Sports, in collaboration with the Ghana Embassy in Qatar, has successfully mobilized over 1,000 Ghanaians and some Africans based in Qatar to cheer on the Black Stars at the ongoing FIFA World Cup Qatar 2020. The innovative fan mobilization strategy is due to government's inability to fly many supporters from Ghana to Qatar as a result of the economic challenges facing the country. And they sure they are not flying people. We've been seeing the people on the TV.
Where are they coming from?
the people we've been seeing on the TV. They don't live in Qatar. But we know them. We've been seeing the people on the TV.
We know they are political color.
We've seen the people on the TV.
You know them, man.
No, you see, because we have seen. And when Parliament resumes, he should come and tell us what the money went. You should not think that 3-2 means the money. We will ask.
Yeah, that the more among of people. Let me take you to page 8 of the Finder. Two quick stories. Catapult staff are GPHA employees offering support. This is according to management. The management of the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority has explained that staff of the yet to be developed Catapult are employees of GPHA assigned to offer support. It explained that the Catapult project is a GPHA project and does not exist in isolation. This has to do with the recent comments and more that we're making regarding that particular project. Also, another story related to the same port says government urged to see Catapult a strategic economic intervention. And the story says Mrs. Enyonam Apetogbo, Chief Executive Officer of the Qatar Investment Promotion Center, has called on the government to see the proposed Catapult, quote and unquote, as a strategic economic intervention project and not a political project.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you, Richard. Thank you, Godfrey. That was the newspaper review coming up. Wow. Coming up next is the City Business News.
Up next, we asked some Ghanaians what they would do if they were blessed with 100,000 Ghana cedis.
What do you get when you mix the best DJs in the country, the most amazing live band sets, delicious cocktails, and wonderful food? Back-to-back hit music from Ghana's finest group, Prayer, and being serenaded by the brilliantly talented Aquabua. The biggest outdoor party, of course. Situation 2022. Are you ready to party? We are changing the situation on December 24, 2022 with the biggest outdoor party in Accra. The Situation Outdoor Party 2022. Let's wrap up the year in style with the most epic party to end all parties this Christmas Eve with Situation. Make your Christmas Eve come alive with the most incredible DJs who will keep you dancing all night long. Amazing live band sets and the crooner Aquabua. It is the perfect ingredient for the best party this festive season. Ain't no party like a city party because a city party don't stop. This will be another one to remember. Date Saturday 24th December 2022. Venue La Palm Royal Beach Hotel, Accra. Time 8 p.m. Dress code, it's an all-white affair. For table booking, call 020-5973-973 or 055-8973-973. Book your table and make reservations now. Media partners, Ghana Weekend and Citi FM. This is powered by Citi TV. This is a Beyond the Return event. What do you get when you mix the best DJs in the country, the most amazing live band sets, delicious cocktails, and wonderful food? Back-to-back hit music from Ghana's finest group, Prayer, and being serenaded by the brilliantly talented Aquabua. The biggest outdoor party, of course. Situation 2022. Are you ready to party? We are changing the situation on December 24, 2022 with the biggest outdoor party in Accra. The Situation Outdoor Party 2022. Let's wrap up the year in style with the most epic party to end all parties this Christmas Eve with Situation. Make your Christmas Eve come alive with the most incredible DJs who will keep you dancing all night long. Amazing live band sets.
Switch things up. Dial star 1355 hash to choose from a wide range of music options. So everyone who calls you gets to listen and dance to your favorite songs too. Get a dope caller ringback tone today and enjoy life only on MTN. And the City Business News is also brought to us by Enterprise Life. Enterprise Life. Enterprise is your advantage. Michael Obodu is here. He's got the latest from the world of business.
Hello and welcome to the breakfast edition of City Business News, proudly brought to you by MTN Goil Enterprise Life, your advantage. Access Bank, modern banking, and powered by your most comprehensive business news website, citybusinessnews.com. Coming up, Association of Ghana Industries urges government to use the 2023 budget to improve the economy, and the Institute of Economic Affairs, IEA, supports government's announcement of an increase in the value-added tax rate. My name is Michael Obodu, and to our first story, the Association of Ghana Industries, AGI, is urging government to accelerate its announced measures in the 2023 budget to restore stability in the macroeconomic situation that currently confronts the country. This, the association believes, will give businesses the hope to forge ahead in the ensuing year. Speaking at the 11th edition of the annual AGI Awards Night, the president of the Association of Ghana Industries, Dr. Humphrey Eyim-Dake, said the rise in the cost of doing business in the country is negatively impacting industry players.
government's monetary policies, including the uncertainty about our macroeconomic situation this year, has taken a toll on industry. Exchange rate losses, high inflation, and the rise in the cost of doing business has been a challenge to industry. As we roll throughout the year, striving for success, we acknowledge that a number of these challenges emanate from external shocks and further exogenous factors that has brought us this far. A number of these situations that we find ourselves, we believe government, through its fiscal document, the budget, will propose and expedite interventions that will aid and support our cause in our various enterprises and businesses.
That was the president of the Association of Ghana Industries, AGI, Dr. Humphrey Eyim Dake. Now, the Institute of Economic Affairs, IEA, has supported government's announcement of the basic value-added tax VAT rate to 2.5% to promote revenue mobilization. Speaking at a post-budget analysis press conference yesterday, Director of Research for the Institute of Economic Affairs, Dr. John Quao, says the move will enable the country get more revenue to fund its developmental projects. This comes on the back of the Finance Minister Kendo Feriata's presentation of the 2023 budget and economic policy, highlighting 7 key steps government is taking to restore macroeconomic stability and speed up economic transformation.
We are not generally in favor of new consumption taxes because they are not progressive and they overburden already overtaxed social poor consumers. But we can say that for this VAT increase, we are prepared to support it because we think government really needs to raise its revenue, and this is a much easier task to collect or administer. And then also going up to that level seems to brings us to a level that's comparable to what our peers are charging in the West African sub-region.
Director of Research for the Institute of Economic Affairs, Dr. John Quao. Now, Director of the Center for the Study of African Economies at Oxford University, Professor Stefan Dekan, believes to stabilize the country's microeconomy, there ought to be a path towards microeconomic stability coupled with checks on government's expenditure. According to him, over the last decade, Ghana has spent more than twice what it earns in tax revenue, which is equivalent to 2 years of growth, a development which he believes is unsustainable and counterproductive. This comes at a time where Ghana is trying to get a program with International Monetary Fund, IMF, to help salvage the reeling economy. He spoke to the media on the sidelines of a workshop organized by his outfit in collaboration with the Institute of Statistical, Social and Economic Research, ISE.
The last decade, Ghana was probably spending every year in terms of more than what it earned in tax revenue, equivalent to 2 years of growth. So that's clearly not sustainable if you keep on spending far faster in terms of your spending increases relative to your growth. And so there needs to be something sensible. Now, for economists, I think they should really think carefully through what that path could look like, and possible paths also, given the consequences, of course, in real terms for people. Such stabilization efforts, they will be tough, but it's now that the seeds have to be sown for actually future better growth in terms of getting the conditions right, probably with somewhat more cautious political behavior with government budgets in the future, to actually make sure that we can go back to this remarkable and such impressive period of growth since the 1990s that Ghana has experienced, and that I, as someone who's visiting back here after some years since I last was here, I can see the fruits of it. The country is changing, and for the better.
That was Director of the Center for the Study of African Economies at Oxford University, Professor Stefan Dekan. Now, Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Ernest Addison, has refuted claims that the major gold mining companies in the country were not consulted on its gold for oil policy. Vice President Dr. Mahamadou Bawumia recently disclosed government's decision to use gold to make purchases for oil on the commodity market. This move by government is to help restore confidence in the local currency. Addressing the issue to the media, Dr. Ernest Addison said, although the policy is still in its planning stage, the unrefined gold will be exchanged for oil that has been refined.
We have 20% of the large-scale producers already planned to be bought by the central bank. But more importantly, I think the agreement is that the PMMC will be buying a lot of the gold, which is exported by the licensed gold exporters. They are exporting quite a bit of gold, as much as $3 billion in 2018 and 2019. So the data that I have seen shows that the licensed gold exporters have significant amounts of gold, which PMMC will be asking them to make available to support this program. So they will be providing most of the gold that will be used for the crude oil swap. I think that the oil will be refined, not crude. Sometimes that gets a bit confusing, but the discussion so far has focused on refined oil. So we are going to use gold, not refined gold. This is Doré gold. From the last discussions that we had, these licensed gold exporters, they don't refine their gold, so many of them. And that's what is going to be exported for the refined gold. The details are still being worked out.
The governor of the Bank of Ghana also assured that adequate measures have been put in place to ensure the solvency of banks in the country, even as Ghana is in the final stages of its IMF negotiations. The conclusions of the IMF deal, in which Ghana is seeking a bailout of $3 million, will determine whether or not the country will undertake a debt restructuring and how it will be carried out. Addressing the issue, Dr. Ernest Addison said even though the banks are well positioned to withstand the shocks of debt restructuring, his outfit will make provisions for funds for the institutions should the need arise.
Obviously, the banks have rebalanced their portfolio also, right? A lot of them, they are not investing in government paper as much as they used to, and therefore they are beginning to lend more to the private sector, and that means that their risk-weighted assets have also gone up. So once their risk-weighted assets go up, that would impact the calculation of capital adequacy levels. And more recently, some of them are marking their holdings of investments to the market.
That was Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Ernest Addison. Now on the interbank foreign exchange markets, where banks trade amongst themselves, the dollar remained unchanged and is selling at 13 cedis 11 pesos. The British pound lost 1 peso and is selling at 15 cedis 78 pesos. The euro also lost 1 peso and is selling at 13 cedis 63 pesos. However, at some forex bureaus, the dollar is selling at 14 cedis 85 pesos, and the British pound is selling at 17 cedis 50 pesos. The euro is selling at 15 cedis 30 pesos. Let's now join Gideon Amweniche of Data Bank for the latest updates on the bonds market.
Last week, investors pushed through total bids worth 2.39 billion Ghana cedis at the auction for the 91-day to the 364-day bills. The Ghanaian Treasury accepted all bids, exceeding the gross target by 10%. The auction closed with a 91-day yield clearing higher by 35 basis points to 35.54%, while the 182-day yield increased by 36 basis points to 36.38%. The 3-4-day yield advanced by 82 basis points to 35.90%. Trading activity improved on the Ghanaian secondary bond market, with total turnover amounting to 4.76 billion Ghana cedis. The Databank bond index declined, widening the year-to-date loss to 22.13%.
That was Gideon Amweniche of Data Bank. And that does it for the breakfast edition of Citi Business News, proudly brought to you by MTN, Goal Enterprise Life, Your Advantage, Access Bank, Modern Banking, and powered by your most comprehensive business news website, citybusinessnews.com. My name is Michael Obudu. Thank you for listening.
rise it me. A rise increment in my salary. This is
And the tuna aquabua, it is the perfect ingredient for the best party this festive season. Ain't no party like a city party because a city party don't stop. This will be another one to remember. Date Saturday 24th December 2022. Venue La Palm Royal Beach Hotel, Accra. Time 8 p.m. Dress code, it's an all-white affair. For table booking, call 020-5973-973 or 055-89-73973. Book your table and make reservations now. Media partners, Ghana Weekend and Citi FM. This is powered by Citi TV. This is a Beyond the Return event. What do you get when you mix the best DJs in the country, the most amazing live band sets, delicious cocktails, and wonderful food? Back-to-back hit music from Ghana's finest group Prayer and being serenaded by the brilliantly talented Aquabua. The biggest outdoor party, of course. Situation 2022. Are you ready to party? We're changing the situation on December 24, 2022 with the biggest outdoor party in Accra. The Situation Outdoor Party 2022. Let's wrap up the year in style with the most epic party to end all parties this Christmas Eve with Situation. Make your Christmas Eve come alive with the most incredible DJs who will keep you dancing all night long. Amazing live band sets and the crooner Aquabua. It is the perfect ingredient for the best party this festive season. Ain't no party like a city party because a city party don't stop. This will be another one to remember. Date Saturday 24th December 2022. Venue La Palm Royal Beach Hotel, Accra. Time 8 p.m. Dress code, it's an all-white affair. For table booking, call 020-5973-973 or 055-89-73973. Book your table and make reservations now. Media partners, Ghana Weekend and Citi FM. This is powered by Citi TV. This is a Beyond the Return event.
Portugal. Final round of group games will be played today. Maybe a little later on in the show, of course, we'll talk about the Black Stars. You can send your messages on 0549986996. But coming up next is Kickoff, like I said. Daniel Cranting is bringing us the latest from the world of sport. It's time for Kickoff.
Unleashing the power of relevant radio. This is Citi 97.3.
It's time for Kickoff here on 97.3 Citi FM. My name is Daniel Cranting. The headlines: the Black Stars of Ghana win their first game at the ongoing FIFA World Cup in Qatar, and Cameroon suspend goalkeeper Andre Onana for disciplinary issues. Black Stars of Ghana. And they beat South Korea by 3-2 yesterday in their second group game at the ongoing FIFA World Cup in Qatar. Mohamed Kudus scored twice and he was named man of the match. He described the performance as a collective effort.
It's a good feeling, We wanted the 3 points and then we got it. And thanks to God and the whole team, everyone was absolutely on top of their game today. They came back 2-2 and then we had to come up with more energy and then it happened. Thanks God, man. I want to thank all my teammates first of all because it's a collective game and they all played a part in my performance. All the crossing from Jordan and the cutback also from Inaki as well. So we want to thank all my teammates and then big up to everyone because everyone played a part.
And how confident are you now going into the Uruguay game?
Fully confident, we came in with the same mentality and the same energy and then we are coming in 100%,
We had Black Stars midfielder Mohamed Kudus speaking there. Jordan Ayew also had a very good game setting up Mohamed Kudus' first goal. He hailed the young players in the team.
In every job, in everything you do in this world, experience is key. And obviously, we have great young talents and great players as well. So we know what we have to do. And I think today, the 2 games, we showed them why we were important to the team. And we'll keep on pushing and keep on just speaking to the young ones to come along with us and to buy into our ideas and the coach idea as well. And we are here to let them feel comfortable.
We had Black Stars forward Jordan Ayew speaking there. Some Ghanaian fans also share their thoughts after the game.
No, it's splendid. I think we knew the boys have potential. So I'm happy that the coach has set up in a way that allows them to fully express. And they are delivering their goods.
Very exciting. When Ghana scored 2, they were supposed to keep up the game. You understand? To score more. I predicted 4, but they got 3. But it's okay. We've still won.
I think it was fairly good. What was important was the 3 points. They have to go back, work on their mistakes. And then moving forward, we planned very well for Uruguay.
The game was super exciting. I really loved it. So far, this is the best game.
It was a good game for Ghana. And then I think the 3 points now, we need to pray for Portugal to either win or draw. Because if they lose, it's going to put pressure on us. So if they win or draw, that means the next match we play with Uruguay, we have to win or draw. And then we are through. So a Portugal win or draw is okay for us.
You heard thoughts from some Ghanaian football fans after the game. Meanwhile, head coach for South Korea, Paulo Bento, believes the result was unfair and says his team deserved to win the game.
I think that we made enough to win the game. The draw would be unfair in my opinion. Of course, we was punished due to some defensive mistakes we made, but at the end, I think that our performance in general was with some mistakes, but with a lot of opportunities to change the result. So we got the draw in the second half. Then with other mistakes, we conceded the third goal. But in my opinion, it's not a fair result. Of course, I'm not happy with the result, but I'm happy with the performance of the players, with the attitude of them.
You had head coach for South Korea, Paulo Bento, speaking. Then the group's other game, Portugal beat Uruguay by 2-0 thanks to a brace from Bruno Fernandes. Let's hear from Portugal defender Ruben Dias speaking after the game.
Yeah, of course, very happy to be in the next round already. But yeah, most of all, happy with the performance, happy with the team spirit we showed, and obviously a big shout out to everyone that went in, especially in the second half, because they really made a difference when they came in to help. Yeah, it's obviously a little bit of that, but it's still early stages in the competition. Obviously, we're very happy that we're moving forward, but cool down now. Obviously, enjoy the moment and get ready for what's coming next. But essentially, like you said, knowing that we might have all the individualities in the world, but if they don't work together, we are not going anywhere. So a big example of what we've showed today.
You had Portugal defender Ruben Dias speaking there. In Group G action, Cameroon fought back from 3-1 down to draw 3-3 against Serbia to give them a slim chance of qualification ahead of their final group game against Brazil. The Brazilians sealed progress to the round of 16 with a 1-0 win over Switzerland, courtesy a late goal from Casemiro. Still with Cameroon, and their head coach Rigobert Song has suspended goalkeeper Andre Onana from his squad, saying the goalkeeper asked not to play in their second World Cup group match amid reports for falling out between the pair in Qatar. The Inter Milan keeper Onana started for the indomitable Lions in their Group G opener against Switzerland, a 1-0 defeat, but he was replaced by Davis Espasi for Monday's 3-3 draw against Serbia. He was not listed amongst the substitutes. In a statement, the Cameroon Football Federation said following Song's decision, Onana has been temporarily suspended for the group for disciplinary reasons. Moving on to today's games and today's action, we'll see Group A and Group B come to a close. Ecuador will take on Senegal at 3 p.m. with Netherlands also taking on Qatar at the same time. Then at 7 p.m. Iran will take on USA and England will take on Wales. England manager Gareth Southgate has been speaking ahead of his side's final group game against Wales, where if they avoid defeat, they have a chance to top the group.
It's it's like any two countries whose there's a competitive rivalry. For me, it's a great sporting rivalry. It's no more than that. That feeling might not be mutual, but I can understand that as well. I live in Yorkshire. They feel the same about the rest of England. So that's where we're at. It's going to be a fantastic atmosphere in the stadium, and we're really looking forward to the game.
You heard England manager Gareth Southgate speaking there. In some FA Cup news, Manchester City will host Chelsea in a standout tie of the FA Cup third round as holders Liverpool and Manchester United will also drawn against Premier League opposition on Monday. Manchester City will host Chelsea. Liverpool, they will also be playing in that round. The games will take place on the weekend of January 6 to 9, 2023. That brings an end to sports here on 97.3 Citi FM. My name is Daniel Cranting. For more sports news, visit citysportsonline.com. Kickoff was brought to you by Lachelle.
Trust the process. The biggest things often start small. No matter where you are now, the most important.
What do you get when you mix the best DJs in the country, the most amazing live band sets, delicious cocktails, and wonderful food? Back-to-back hit music from Ghana's finest group, Prayer, and being serenaded by the brilliantly talented Akwabua. The biggest outdoor party, of course. Situation 2022. Are you ready to party? We are changing the situation on December 24, 2022 with the biggest outdoor party in Accra. The Situation Outdoor Party 2022. Let's wrap up the year in style with the most epic party to end all parties this Christmas Eve with Situation. Make your Christmas Eve come alive with the most incredible DJs who will keep you dancing all night long. Amazing live band sets and the crooner Akwabua. It is the perfect ingredient for the best party this festive season. Ain't no party like a city party, because a city party don't stop. This will be another one to remember. Date Saturday 24th December 2022. Venue La Palm Royal Beach Hotel, Accra. Time 8 p.m. Dress code, it's an all-white affair. For table booking, call 020-5973-973 or 055-8973-973. Book Book your table and make reservations now. Media partners, Ghana Weekend and Citi FM. This is powered by Citi TV. This is a Beyond the Return event.
What is the worst case scenario we will see in the next 6 months if we don't stop this now? You've said 100% in some areas polluted, 60 some.
Yeah.
What's the worst case scenario with regards to our water security as a country in the next 6 months?
The immediate one will be that probably we will not get treated water from that water company. They will have to shut down. The long term is that most of their equipments will be destroyed forever and they have to bring in, so it goes back to the investments. But apart from just us getting water to drink, agriculture is affected already. We are going to have food security issues, not just water security. Economic growth will suffer. We are already in a system where we are struggling to see how best we can come out of this. So it is a complete system.
We are resorting to more expensive chemicals to be able to get to be able to reduce the process losses. If you go to Odaso, if we were not using the polyelectrolyte, we might not have been able to even get up to 30% of the water to send to Obuasi. But with the use of the polyelectrolyte, we are doing about 50%. And so at every time you have to increase costs. If you are using the aluminium sulfate, you will have to use, the more aluminium sulfate you put in your water, the more other chemicals that you put in to correct your pH level. So at all times, the costs continue to go very, very high. And I think that if PURC can allow us to pass on the cost to the citizen, yes, politically it might have some implications. But when people begin to see the cost, I'm sure we'll all go onto the rivers and directly get the people who are doing that damage away. If we don't take that seriously, I'm sure even our rivers will die.
The power of relevant radio. This is Citi 97.3.
Benedicta, Cecilia, Emiliana, Monica, Etidimechi, my Ecofi. Follow me, make we go. Cecilio, Emilio, Benesoma, Memesha Okawa, Etidimechi, my Ecofi. Follow me, make we go. Cecilia, Emilia, Benesoma, Memesha Okawa.
You see, need not to look up and show, that's what obey Simia. You see, the country not so good, not them, not so still, Simia. Nana Freme, Miss Emreka. Young coffee, we go home, mammy, Namina, what dear. Well, I've been looking and searching and looking, and I have found you. There was nothing in this world, and nothing that stopped me from loving you. But the only thing in this world that stopped me from loving you is when you cheat on me, is when you betray me, and you break my heart.
Alright, now. Mami Fortunium that baby. Benedicta, Cecilia, Emiliana, Monica. Oh, yeah, my friend. Follow me, make we go. Benesoma, Memesha Okawa. Oh, yeah, my friend. Follow me, make we go.
Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise. The Citi Breakfast Show.
$7:32. Still listening to the Citi Breakfast Show live on your dial 97.3 FM from Adabraka to the world via citynewsroom.com. Your messages are welcome on 0549 986 996. Tuesday, the 29th of November. Let me say happy birthday to one of our ardent listeners, Tina Dika. Tina Dika, happy birthday to you. 29 on 29. I wish you the very, very best. And happy birthday to one of our colleagues, Belinda Aisha Mahama. Happy birthday to you. And happy birthday to Jesse Ezekiel Freeman Tete. He's 8 today. The message is coming from his parents, Mr. and Mrs. Freeman Tete. This one says, kindly wish our dearest son Darrow Obodai Mensa of the Morning Star School a happy 10th birthday. The message is coming from his parents, Danny Mens and Nanole. Happy birthday to Akusika Mauhi Pene. You are the other Queen sister. Okay, that's coming from Mamle and Kadiva. And happy birthday to another one of our listeners, Faustina Fari. Faustina, happy birthday to you. On December 24, you'll be seeing Prior and you'll be enjoying this jam and a lot more at the Situation 2022 edition happening live at the La Palm Royal Beach Hotel in Accra. Starts at 8 p.m. It's an all-white affair. So those who are planning to show up in all kinds of other colors, we beg you. White is white. The last time I checked, white was white. It was not black or green. Yo.
What's your problem?
Some people are fond of wearing all kinds of strange, unprescribed colors.
Unprescribed?
Yes, remember? Stop, the boys who are wearing unprescribed shorts.
People are used unprescribed to exact wickedness.
I tell you.
Okay, you have unprescribed apparently.
You have Charlie.
Unprescribed.
This white matter, we had a school prefect called
unprescribed
Richard Frimpong Dabo. I don't know where he is right now, but I'm sure he's listening. Big head.
Yeah.
I question with Brofu. Hey!
He was SP.
A school prefect. Aloski, your white shirt cannot be whiter than Orike's white shirt.
He will iron it with starch.
Charlie, and you know the thing, his shirt is the standard. So when he comes for prep,
everybody's shirt is brown.
And he will punish you for it because he uses his shirt as a standard. So he will put his shirt by your side and you check. Your shirt is not white, Charlie. Some knock or something. So that is the white we are looking for.
Yeah.
White is white.
White is white.
Not off-white.
Neither other colors.
Other colors.
It's true.
So it's called the all-white party.
Thank you.
That means that Godia hand on a white. Roxana on white.
So what hand on
white?
Everything is white.
Everything must be white.
Or don't mix it up.
Yeah. Don't suppose they say white, then they're going to wear black shorts, white shirt or something. No, I beg you.
It looks like they are just from some other party and decided that, oh, Charlie,
we bought ticket for this. So let's go here.
By the way, the tickets are on sale. You can call and then you can book a table. There are different table combinations, and we have a non-alcoholic table. So
so for the teachers like me,
with the Criffet brothers, just go talk for some time, and we'll be dancing small. Don't dance small. But we'll also be there eating like small chops and things. So if you can give me the number
0205 973 973 or 0558.
You don't understand? I was say it again.
Okay.
Counts my account.
0205 973 973.
One last time.
0205 973 973.
Can you say that in Eweska just quickly for me?
Let me back with number. Okay, 020 Naneko. Naneko. Aton. Asheke Andre Aton.
Thank you.
Asheke Andre Bleton.
Yeah, that's all. That's all. Just book a table.
Or you can call 0558. Or you can call 0558 973 973.
But who will be there? Who will be there?
Charlie Pryor will be there. Pryor will be there. Ghana's finest group will be there. Aquaba will be there. Aquaba.
Oh, that sweet voice, man.
Charlie, drop me Uppercut.
Yes.
Oh, you mean the greatest remix?
No, it's called Jacket.
You mean the greatest remix?
Some of us call it Uppercut.
Mama drop me jacket. Mama drop me jacket.
Uppercut. Let me speak a snimu.
Yanko.
This is Citi
So those are the jams you'll be listening to and jamming to and jumping to on December 24 at the La Palma Royal Beach Hotel. It's the Situation, the 2022 edition. It's part of the Beyond the Return, championed by the Ghana Tourism Authority, supported by Citi FM and Ghana Weekend, and powered by Citi TV. I tell you, it will be boya. Now embrace the freedom our forefathers paid the ultimate price for, the freedom to determine our destiny. ZPay's MoneyGram to wallet gives you the freedom to choose when and where we should bring your money to. Dial star 270 hash to register. Chop, make a chop, be empowered. Now in this day and age where rent charges are going through the roof and finding a place to lay your head is wahala, talk to Ugo Flip. Now they are here to make the home ownership journey realistic, fun and more affordable. Now they are real estate gaming company that rewards houses, or that gives houses as prizes. Log on to ugoflip.com, register with your phone number or email address, buy as many tickets as possible, and stand the chance to win a house at Pram Pram, or weekly game prizes, or one of the many consolation prizes. Now even if you don't win, you can use you get rewarded with loyalty points equivalent to $3 a ticket. And when you accumulate that, you can use that as a down payment towards your next home. Clean water and decent toilets are a human right, yet 256 million people in West Africa don't have that. And we need to change that now. With your help, we can hashtag change the score on decent toilets for all. Follow WaterAid Ghana and WaterAid West Africa on social media for more updates on how to support this campaign. Don't forget to tweet and post with the hashtag change the score.
Meanwhile, this season, GTB gives you a 5% discount when you make a bulk purchase of 50 or more fabrics for your organization, your church, your employee, or your clubs. Now, call Beatrice on 0204 389 605 to enjoy your deal today and wow your stakeholders this season. Shop now to start saving. GTP Lifestyled. And it's the end of year and planning has already started for the festivities. Your shopping list is long, but what shorty cash? Well, SG Ghana is here to sort you out. Spend 500 cedis or more when shopping for friends and loved ones and receive an attractive cashback reward. Simply pay for your shopping with your SG Ghana Visa card at your favorite shops and get an attractive cashback reward for even more shopping. Start shopping today. Call 0302 214 314 and the promotion is on till 31st December 2022. Remember, with Societe Generale, the future is you. Meanwhile, passengers flying on TAG Angola Airlines proceed to boarding gate. Now, TAG Angola is pleased to announce commencement of flights to Luanda from Ghana 2 times a week, starting November 30. That's tomorrow. So if you're flying to Southern Africa, TAG Angola is your best bet. Now, we have direct flights on Thursdays and Sundays. Fly TAG Angola Airlines from Accra to Luanda with connecting flights to Johannesburg, Cape Town, Durban, Maputo, Windhoek, Sao Tome, Brazil and Cuba. Take them to the destination. So if you're going to South Africa, you can go through Luanda. If you're going through Cape Town, Durban, Mozambique, now Namibia. If you're going to Sao Tome for holidays, if you're going to Brazil, or you're going to Cuba, experience our African hospitality on board our modern aircrafts. Now, call TAG Angola on 050 489 9620. I need to repeat this number. Right, save it on your phone. 050 489 9620. Or call your travel agent and say, look, I want to connect through Angola. You can locate us at Cargo Door Building. Is it Cargo Door or Door Building? Kotoka International Airport, Accra, Ghana.
2 birthdays. Today is the birthday of the former president of the Republic. John Dramani Mahama.
Hey, Jim.
Yeah, 29th, right?
Why no good? Drops on
29th.
Drops on Elvis. Give up. Your daily dose of Elvis. I feel Yankra.
So today is Muhammad's birthday. Happy birthday to him. And also, JDM, one of the heroes of yesterday's performance.
Who is this?
Lawrence Atizigi.
Oh my God.
It
was playing for Argentinos Juniors.
No, the fans me and they give me Atizigi.
No, it's Atizigi.
So today is Zigili's birthday.
It's your birthday, Mahama.
Happy birthday to Atizigi. He had a wonderful game.
Oh my God.
He made crucial stops.
Sanada Braka.
Yeah. He's coaching.
You know, yesterday I saw Nima owning Kudus Gidi Gidi.
The world.
Locality must produce players.
It's very important
because to play in Argentinos Juniors in Adabraka here, he actually came. Kamna Japan posted a photo of him coming back to donate to the club many years after he left, and it's such a heartwarming story. You know. Atizigi, Charlie, he saves
so birthday.
Atizigi. No, Charlie, drop one Elvis.
Yeah,
just for Bahama. Then we move on. I see they do the mamation place, the caster jack.
But you know the Popo man, the way you mechanically turn it like that.
It reminds me of my Gateto. When he's packing that thing, you do one. No, Mama big man. Mama big man. Anyway, I want to say a quick one before we go into the football. So this weekend, the year group before my year group, the 97 year group, did their speech day.
Yes, they were here on Friday.
And a couple of things I just wanted to say. They have a very good project, and one of my seniors is now a chief.
Oh.
Yeah. So there were two special guests of honor. The CEO of GMPC is called Opoku Arinier Dankwa.
Okay.
He gave the keynote address. And Charlie, the guy is a full CEO of GMPC.
Thank you.
When we were in the school, he was in the NSMQ team.
Wow.
And he's
Solid
become
guy.
the CEO. We call him Obunda.
Obunda. Yeah.
Then we have the Achimpimhine of Jabin.
Achimpimhine.
He was the house captain of House 8.
Powerful.
He's the son of Nana Otuo Siribo.
Thank you.
He's now, he's a big man. He spoke at the event. He's the chairman of the event. He was just 1 year ahead of me.
Big job guy.
When you see him in his palanquin.
Thank you.
He attend the event in his palanquin.
I mean, so
they put him in his palanquin.
They brought him in his palanquin.
What I'm thinking of that, somebody who was my house captain is now a chief.
Thank you.
With palanquin and everything.
Allah.
The future is bright for you.
The Achimpini of Jabin.
It says Achimpini.
What does it mean? What does it mean?
I don't know.
Achimpimhine.
You just be main man for the system.
So no. So this is just 97. No, if this SS 97 is a chief.
Powerful.
So we produced the first SS chief. We produced the first. We produced the first SS GMPC. We produced the first SS president. We produced. I want to say good morning to the 97 year group, including JB Alute.
Thank you.
They are solid.
Yeah, solid.
Congrats.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
$7:48. Still listening to the Citi Breakfast Show. Sending your messages on 0549-986-996.
You know, I saw a statistic. I saw a statistic that Citi team posted yesterday. Every second game of the World Cup, we haven't lost a second game at the World Cup yet.
Yeah. Yes.
It's an interesting statistic. So first World Cup 2006, we beat Czech Republic 2-0. Second World Cup we drew. I think that was the one we drew.
2010.
Our second game we drew.
Australia.
Yes, and then
1-1.
And then our third World Cup, we drew Germany 2-2.
Yes.
And then we won as well. So our second games are very good. And I can't have enough of Kudus.
Yeah, played well.
But I also think, I'm so happy for Jordan because he's one of the most vilified players in Ghana.
For all kinds of reasons.
And yesterday when he started, I was telling Molly something. I said, Jordan will win free kicks for us. Ball retention. When you give Jordan the ball,
it's a key strength.
The ball sticks. Which is why the first game was an anomaly. That he came in at the wrong time and then he couldn't hold on to the ball and they scored. The free kick he won was the one that he gave the assist that we scored. And I think that was the hallmark of the game. Very good play all around. God, I don't know what you think because you were very worried about.
Yeah, and it turned out his worries.
No, actually, if they had, to be fair, after 2-0, a more experienced team should have just closed down the game.
But what do you think we're talking about? It's awkward.
But do you think that if, for example, Portugal had gone ahead 2-0 to South Korea,
they are more experienced.
That's what I'm saying. So
the place of the game,
but the team is good enough to come back at 3-2.
Yeah, it was.
We allowed them back into the game.
They took advantage of weaknesses that they knew we had. They had and yesterday we spoke about the weaknesses that they had told us about. The spaces on the sides, and that is where they found joy, especially down Tariq Lamptey's side of the park, and they took.
That happened after we scored,
and we showed a lot of patience.
When we are compact, those weaknesses don't show. It's usually when we score or go forward that then the spaces get exposed.
Remember
that was in the second, tier of the game.
Second
half. Tarif lost the ball on the right, and the Koreans grabbed the ball, whipped in across.
Yes, that was it. After that, straight cross.
He actually won the
He
ball.
had won the ball.
So it wasn't.
So he won. Lost.
The ball was like some transition something. He won the ball
and then lost it in transition.
Lost it in transition, and then we were out of shape. But I feel yesterday the Black Stars showed a level of tenacity which was very good.
First of all, let's start from the team shape. Yesterday they did the 4-4-2 that we spoke about.
Gideon Mensah instead of Babaraman.
More offensive minded.
Tariq instead of
again very offensive minded. The shape of the team was to try and probe a bit more than we saw.
Yes.
And after the first 20 minutes, we were like, why did they make these changes? Because
still
slow. But once they settled down into a very slow, patient passing game, trying to find their spaces. And we got 2 goals out of it. In the second goal is a work of art.
I saw an Opta thing on
31 passes.
I mean, that's serious.
In the space of 2 minutes.
It's the World Cup record now. It was previously held by Argentina.
That 26 pass move
in
2006
this was against Serbia.
Serbia Montenegro.
Yes.
31 passes.
They played 31.
So the people didn't touch the ball.
Yes, they didn't touch the ball. The ball moved from and somebody watching. I'm sure somebody would have said, "Hey, Moon, come home." Somebody would have been saying that, but they held on to the ball. It went side to side, back and forth, then went to the side, got to.
So what's the key to such a thing? Is that thing training? Is it instinct? Is it
a number of repeated? So when I watched the sequence over and over again, you could tell that now this was a team that was beginning to understand each other.
So they are being coached.
They are being coached,
even though it's a tournament
consequence
game,
of coaching.
Because you guys said to me that for tournament football there isn't a lot of time to do a lot of things.
Yes.
And Godfred even said that the tournament came too early
in terms of their development. So what do you bring this down to? Their ability, because they seem to be playing to a certain rhythm.
So but yesterday you could see that particular sequence where it was not hurried. And you could tell they had been told that when you get the ball, take your time with the ball. Yes. And
don't rush.
Don't rush. And a lot of sequences were like that. That's why we're very comfortable up until the half. You realize that the game was very settled because if you increase the tempo of the game, you are playing into the hands of the Koreans. Who wants that kind of tempo?
Chaos.
They want chaos. But if you play it at a very slow pace, you can't really press at that pace because the person has the ball. He's waiting for you. If you can, you play it into space, and that is what happened with that particular move. It started from Ziggy, pass, went back to Andre. Andre held the ball for like 10 seconds when they got to him without even moving, and then just cutting went to Partey. Partey moved. The ball will switch to that side, and it will switch back to the left side.
Just trying to carve out a space and the right movement.
To find
and the right
movement.
run.
Yes. And Jordan saw it quick.
Jordan got the ball.
As soon as he saw it, Kudus was ready.
Kudus moved.
Yes, and he just put the ball there.
You do that.
It was actually like a free kick.
Yeah.
The way he...
You do it to move teams round. Pep's Barcelona at their height would do that very often because when the ball is being moved around, players are moving, and they know that.
Are you trying to disorient them or what?
Yes, when you slow it down, you kind of lull teams into thinking you are doing nothing.
So like kicking the ball aimlessly.
So by the time, for example, so Xabi or Iniesta in their pump, Xabi has it, and by the time the sequence settles down, he's already seen the pass he wants to play. Somebody's on the run. One pass and you are cut open.
Wow.
And really
so Jordan saw the Kudus run.
Yes, the run was good. The run made the goal.
Put it on a plate for him.
Just cross it well. Whip it nicely and he touches it. That's it.
So the first goal was a set piece. Yeah. Similar goal to what they scored against Switzerland.
Yes.
So I think the point is for the free kicks, they have big guys and they cause confusion in the box.
And one thing that I've noticed, they've worked on set pieces. Both defensively and offensively. If you look at the way Ghana takes their set pieces now, there's a decoy run to the first pole, and there's always somebody waiting at the back pole, hoping to take advantage of it. And the advantage we also have is Salisu size.
He's big.
Yeah, he's massive. He's 6'3". Wow. So it gives you a certain advantage.
Andre wanted to do a back heel, which will also have been a goal anyway. Yeah. But he wouldn't have, because the ball
touched his hand. If he had scored, it would have been.
So quite a few things have been worked on. Again, the tactical discipline of the team.
When you say tactical discipline, what do you mean?
No, I mean the first half we saw elements of everybody staying in their zone.
Okay.
Everybody knowing that, okay, this is what I have to do. And which is why they were very comfortable. Like, we enjoyed
the guys were attacking with corners, but we were not
sweet. If you look at,
because some guys around Charlie, if
you look at the numbers, for instance, and I think Ghana kind of expected the onslaught.
Okay.
Because if you look at, I'm checking numbers for you right now. For crosses, for instance, Korea attempted 36 crosses the whole game.
Hey!
Right?
36 crosses.
They completed only 14.
So the ratio is like about half.
Yeah. Ghana attempted only 7 and completed 3. And guess who attempted the most crosses? Because they realized where the space was. Their left back.
So because they knew Tariq would come forward.
So Kim Jin-soo attempted 8 crosses.
No wonder the 2 goals came from his side.
And the other challenge Tariq had on the day was Mohamed Kudus. Not to slide Kudus, but Kudus' natural orientation would be to go centrally. Now that in the first half, in the first 25 minutes, he was cutting in so much. It left so much space for the Koreans to attack.
Which is why you said in the game against Brazil, this guy suffered a lot. The defender on the right back.
Yes.
So usually the left back gets assistance from his side.
Yes.
That's just Jordan.
So Jordan always.
So if you notice, Gideon Mensah didn't have problems. It was Tariq Lamptey who had problems yesterday because his man, who was Mohamed Kudus, did not give him enough cover.
So what Kudus offers going for? It doesn't offer too much coming back.
And so it goes back to this debate around where he plays at Ajax.
And even the Black Stars, somebody would have said, if you know he doesn't do defensive work, why deploy him there? Shift him. But also, you see, the way we watch football is that sometimes the fact that you see a player wide does not mean he's playing wide. Okay. The fact that he's wide does not mean he's a winger. So you might see Kudus on the right side of attack. It doesn't mean he's been asked to play as a winger. He's just playing on the right side of the front three.
Because yesterday I was asking, Tariq looked a bit controlled. He was afraid to. When you see Tariq and Brighton, he runs very fast. He's very offensive. But I feel yesterday he felt that if he does too much, he'll be hot. So he'll go small, then he'll stop.
But there were moments where he was almost playing as a winger.
Yeah, there was some time he didn't hit the ball.
With his left foot. He came inside and hit the ball with his left foot.
Okay, what about the middle issue? You seem to like Salis a lot, and I think
I like Salis and Partey.
Yes.
Together.
Yes.
Together.
So yesterday? What do you assess the two of them?
Yesterday, for a lot of people who may have watched it with an untrained eye, they would have missed Partey's brilliant performance yesterday.
Oh, Partey was brilliant.
So I'm going to show you something. Right
Clearly, I'm not that well trained.
So Salis provides him the security. And what Partey did, if you want to see Partey's influence, look at the build-up to the second goal. The freedom to run up the pitch, beat a man, drive the ball and find somebody.
I think he changed the pace of the move.
Yes.
He sort of added agency to the move.
I'm coming to that, you see.
Yes.
So a lot of times, I hate watching football with numbers, but we're in the stats generation.
Yes.
And the stats will tell you how the game actually went, not your eye.
Okay.
So if you look at
numbers don't lie.
Yeah, if you look at the line breaks, for instance, from Ghana yesterday, in the middle.
When you say a line break, what do you mean?
So you are looking to beat the press.
Okay.
So Partey and Salis are playing in front of the back four. We want to leave the back four and enter the offensive side.
I get you.
The Korean said.
So that's breaking the line.
Breaking their line. So we are looking to break 2 lines.
So that's what it means by passing in between the lines.
Yes.
Because his line is lateral.
So if that doesn't happen, we can't progress the ball.
I get you.
Now if you look at the line breaks attempted, Partey attempted 13 line breaks yesterday and hit 12. 92% line breaks.
So almost every line break he attempted was successful.
Yes. Daniel Amate was second. He tried 8 and hit 8. Right? Che and Odoi hit 1-1, 1 of 1.
Because
so that's also hard. They came on as subs. Now, if you look at the
so that tells you that progressing from a passive to an active attacking mode is triggered by Partey and Amate.
Yes, and so Partey was the one who actually was doing most of that. His partner, for instance, was Salis. Salis tried 10 and hit 6 for 60%.
So Salis is the defensive guy.
Yes. Okay. Now, if you look at the passing network of the team again.
Charlie, football sky.
Top 5. And look at this. Listen to this. This is very interesting. Who passed the ball to who the most? So Abdul Samed Salis passed the ball a lot. Guess who he was passing the ball to? Salisu. Wow. So you would see Salis will have a lot of the ball, but he's not passing progressively. He's passing it backwards.
Because somebody's pressing him.
Yes. Now the ball goes to Amate. Amate makes the most passes to Partey.
Amate was the right of the pair.
Yes.
And then on the pitch, is Partey on the left or right part of that midfield too?
He was on the left side.
So it means Amate will pass it across like this. Okay.
Yeah. You know, so then we go to offering to receive. You know, offering to receive basically means that normally we say when the defense has the ball, they say midfielders, nobody's showing up to receive the ball. They are not moving in a way where we can progress. Now, if you look at offering to receive for Ghana, the person who showed up the most for the ball was Jordan Ayew.
Are you kidding?
Because the one who was not hiding. He always wanted the ball. Okay. So he offered himself from the attacking midfield left 53 times.
Are you serious?
Yes.
He was available.
So
he'll make a small run, he'll move his body.
Yes.
Just give me the 53 times.
53 times. But
only
received the ball 14 times.
In the game of 90 minutes. Which means that he was persistent.
Yes.
He will go, he won't get, but he will still go again.
But guess who received the ball the most? Behind him was Partey. Partey showed 39 times and got the ball 26 times.
So it means that they trust Partey more.
From that side.
They trust Partey more.
And he's closer.
Because they know that the ball... But you know what I also know? Okay, there are some... Jordan gave himself 53 and got the ball 13.
Yeah.
But how many... In terms of winning fouls... Because Jordan wins a lot of fouls.
Yes. Now, if I'm looking at defensive actions, for instance, in terms of blocks, attempts at goal, the person who regained possession the most for us, Salisu.
Wow.
Defensively.
Wow.
From left centre back. Yes. Total possession regains. Salisu with 7.
Yeah. Which is consistent with his performance in South Africa.
Every time the ball breaks in defense,
very important. Guess who's behind him?
It will be Amate.
Partey.
Oh, so hearing is the Partey issue.
Hearing is the Partey.
So basically, Partey does better. Like we don't see it with our normal eye.
Salis won possession back only 2 times yesterday.
And the other
so basically, those people who criticize Partey and Jordan, in football.
No, because you see,
no, can I speak?
You mean can I
football? And that's because you've just shown me that.
Football.
Football. What you are saying is that what the coach and technical people see when
it's not what we
Black
see.
Stars, it's not what we see.
You see, it's like most organizations where there are a lot of people who are busybodies, but they don't work.
Yes.
But somebody might be quiet and actually work.
So trained eyes know.
Will notice what is happening.
And what do you call his name again? What's the name of the second? Jordan.
Yes.
Were actually 2 of our best players.
Yes.
And just one last thing about Partey before we move on. He was the only player in the game who kept telling his teammates, calm it down. Let's play patiently.
Wow.
He was like a second coach on the pitch. Always telling, just calm it down.
So basically, he's been unshackled. This is all we're asking for.
Yes.
No, but still Kudus.
Oh yeah. All right, you see, I'll give you a quick one. I have a lot of data from the game for you.
Let's do tech and social media trends. Brought to us by Cowbank. Cowbank is saying that whatever you're doing, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, just get online and shop with your card. Call them on 0800 500 500, chat with them, or send an email customercare@cowbank.net. Cowbank for it together. Vodafone. Vodafone is also bringing us the tech and social media trend segment.
See the whole world, nobody did do agenda past Danike. Danike jumped yesterday. Somebody who was working jumped onto my Twitter space to do agenda for 30 seconds and tell people that he will be back to continue the agenda.
The king of agenda. Agenda manche.
No, you see, Sky, let me explain to you.
Okay, I'm listening.
When the lineups dropped, somebody has even touched a ball.
Then
you are criticizing, you are blaming him. You say he's the reason we are going to lose. So at halftime, I came back. I said, come and explain to me why we are losing 2-0 and why Jordan has scored 2 own goals. Come and tell me why.
Thank you. Why are the Papa?
Jordan Ayew. He's trending number 1. And you trend now to Friday. Jordan Ayew.
Now
they are all quiet. Atamfu, they are all quiet.
I got it from his silent.
What a performance!
Kudus day. Oh, Jale.
Kudus. Oh, Charlie, 3 points is sweet, oh. Sweet. Yeah, 3 points. Kudus.
Yes.
But I know another person who is not getting his flowers. Who? He's somewhere in the trains. Zigili.
Zigili.
Ati Zigili.
Yeah, that
no.
Ati. Yeah, it is so.
Oh, yesterday he was solid. Charlie, people are happy. People are happy with his performance. Do you know Lee Min-ho?
Lee Min-ho. The way people are best up with the Korean.
I know Lee Min-ho.
Yeah.
Oh, he's a top Korean actor. Lee Min-ho. Oh, all our girls.
They do what?
They know Lee Min-ho.
They know Lee Min-ho.
So yesterday we told them before the game. After 90 minutes, if you will see Majid Michel, John DeMello, they were there before Lee Min-ho.
But Lee Min-ho, is this some Korean series or something?
Some Korean series.
Yeah, because these days the girls every time they say they are watching some Korean
series. K-drama. Man.
But why are you not mentioning Penaldo or Ronaldo or something?
We'll get there. Nathan, you know I'm doing Korean classes now.
Yeah. Leave me home.
This morning when I woke up. But yesterday, before the game, I had to... The girl who was crying at the end of the game. No. Sky. Do you know Allo? Ronaldo. Allo. Hey!
Somebody play
the shot. The ball hasn't touched you. Celebrate the team.
Go put your head there small.
When the camera go check this.
I thought they gave me ball.
He touched me.
He said he passed here small. He touched that boy.
Oh, Charlie.
Touch that boy.
Daddy, they look for goal.
Charlie Messi scores. So he was scored some. 0. Charlie Haru. But before I go, I did some Korean lessons yesterday.
Yeah.
Oh, you know they are brothers.
Yeah, very yes.
The defeat was painful.
Yes. Yeah, so we comforted them yesterday, yeah.
If you are comforting them, don't speak in English. You have to do it in their language. Because it resonates better.
Okay, let's go.
Gwenchana yo. No.
Gwenchana yo
has to come from the land. Gwenchana yo. No, yo. No, you are going up.
Okay, yo.
Come down.
Gwenchana
yo.
It's the fourth tone.
Okay.
It comes down. Okay.
Let's go again.
Gwenchana yo.
It means, are you okay?
But depending on how you say it, that can be an insult.
Second social media trends brought to us by Vodafone and Cowbank.
Babe, so what are we doing tomorrow?
I have to go to the bank, then go and pay for the staff for my place. Then
What do you get when you mix the best DJs in the country, the most amazing live band sets, delicious cocktails, and wonderful food? Back-to-back hit music from Ghana's finest group, Prayer, and being serenaded by the brilliantly talented Akwabua. The biggest outdoor party, of course. Situation 2022. Are you ready to party? We are changing the situation on December 24, 2022 with the biggest outdoor party in Accra. The Situation Outdoor Party 2022. Let's wrap up the year in style with the most epic party to end all parties this Christmas Eve with Situation. Make your Christmas Eve come alive with the most incredible DJs who will keep you dancing all night long. Amazing live band sets and the crooner Akwabua. It is the perfect ingredient for the best party this festive season. Ain't Ain't no party like a city party, because a city party don't stop. This will be another one to remember. Date Saturday 24th December 2022. Venue La Palm Royal Beach Hotel, Accra. Time 8 p.m. Dress code, it's an all-white affair. For table booking, call 020-5973-973 or 055-8973-973. Book your table and make reservations now. Media partners, Ghana Weekend and Citi FM. This is powered by Citi TV. This is a Beyond the Return event.
What is the worst case scenario we will see in the next 6 months if we don't stop this now? You've said 100% in some areas polluted, 60 some.
Yeah.
What's the worst case scenario with regards to our water security as a country in the next 6 months?
The immediate one will be that probably we will not get treated water from Ghana Water Company. They will have to shut down. The long term is that most of their equipments will be destroyed forever, and they have to bring in. So it goes back to the investments. But apart from just us getting water to drink, agriculture is affected already. We are going to have food security issues, not just water security. Economic growth will suffer. We are already in a system where we are struggling to see how best we can come out of this. So it is a complete system.
What is the worst case scenario we will see in the next 6 months if we don't stop this now? You've said 100% in some areas polluted, 60 some.
Yeah.
What's the worst case scenario with regards to our water security as a country in the next 6 months?
The immediate one will be that probably we will not get treated water from Ghana Water Company. They will have to shut down. The long term is that most of their equipments will be destroyed forever, and they have to bring in. So it goes back to the investments. But apart from just us getting water to drink, agriculture is affected already. We are going to have food security issues, not just water security. Economic growth will suffer. We are already in a system where we are struggling to see how best we can come out of this. So it is a complete system.
$18 to $50. And the plan ensures healthy savings, returns, and other attractive benefits and runs for a minimum of 10 years, a maximum of 20, subject to a maximum of 60. You can get a quote by calling 0302750151 or send a WhatsApp message to 0501456983. You can visit siclife.com.gh or get to them on social media at SIC Life Ghana. SIC Life, absolute peace of mind. Somebody's asking, we should talk about Iñaki. What do we do with Iñaki? Nothing. Keep him. Let him play.
Yeah, I think, from my perspective, I think that what he does so well is to occupy the opposition's defense, get them, occupied, preoccupied with him. Where will he move to? And he drags with him, defenders, and that creates spaces for the other members of the
Godfrey,
team.
what do you think of Inaki? A lot of people keep thinking that he's not living up. But I want you to explain what he does and how well he's doing.
Okay, so to look at what Inaki did well, and the data agrees with Sky's position. What is not helping Inaki at the moment is there isn't familiarity with the kind of runs that he makes. Now, if you look at the data on the movement to receive in the attacking area, which is what they are calling the in-behind run.
Okay. Run in behind, yes.
The run in behind. You like football, so you know what I'm talking about. Behind, yes. Run in behind. It was the third.
Chikarito is the king of the best running behind
player. And yesterday, Cameroon's Vincent Abubakar
thank you
showed us the running behind 2 times. One was a goal, one was an assist. Now, Inaki attempted that 25 times yesterday.
He didn't get the ball.
He didn't get the ball.
Which means they are not used to playing with him.
They are not used to playing with him. He attempted the in-behind movement 25 times yesterday. Wow. He did not get the ball.
Which means with more familiar midfielders in his team, he would have had more chances.
But
what kind of service would find him?
Well,
a player who knows him.
You see, that's also the thing. The system for Bilbao, for instance, these are people he grew up with.
Okay.
Because of the way the Atletico Bilbao system works. Okay. You know, so they know if he turns left, he wants the ball that way. If he turns right, he wants the ball that way.
Okay.
We are playing him as an arrowhead sort of player. The way our midfield operates at the moment does not allow for that one touch pass from the middle to the front, which is what he would be used to. In Spain, there will be a lot of one touch, it's gone. You realize that we like a lot more touch, so we'll do 2 or 3 touches more than what he's used to. He's offside by that time.
Yes, and if you watch
him, he's covered.
He'll make a run and come back. He'll make a run. And I remember Samajan tweeted something a few weeks ago when Ghana played Nicaragua. He says, it must be frustrating for Iñaki Williams. He's making a run and nobody's finding him. It's because they are not familiar with each other.
The Spain goal against Germany, Jordi Alba for this Atletico player, what's his name? The guy who scored the Spain goal.
Morata.
Similar kind of situation. Because that Jordi Alba ball, he could have taken 2 touches. Alba just hit 1 quick pass and the guy just touched the ball once and scored. So they are right. I think Iñaki, if they keep the team the way it is, he will
over time
he will start scoring a lot of goals for the Black Stars.
You see, and because we don't have a number 10 that can pass the ball, so we don't have like a De Bruyne type player who sees a pass and takes it. That type, he'll see a pass and play. No, Kudus wants the ball. He wants to drive. He wants to take a shot. That kind of thing. So if you have a different profile of a number 10, as soon as Iñaki is making a run, he'll see.
But he's forceful. He presses a lot. And he runs a lot.
And that's what he gives you.
I love his commitment.
Towards the end of the game, when the pressure was on, and that was where you notice Partey's leadership a lot. He was telling them, calm the ball down, because he could tell that Kamaldeen and Iñaki were outlets. So if we were a bit patient instead of hoofing the ball out,
now
get it and play it into the channel.
Boom boom.
No, we call it Davi Pomda.
You know the funny thing, when you do the boom boom, the ball doesn't go far. It comes back.
It goes
back. But Korea, I think that Korea, if they use it, they can worry Portugal, because Portugal will probably not play their best team. Korea is unrelenting.
But you see, the same way, in that same vein, it could be their undoing, because Portugal will actually
pick them off.
You know, the Koreans coming onto them and then they pick them off and go and find.
No, but so you think Iñaki, we should keep him the way he is?
Yeah, I think it's a matter of familiarity. Once the familiarity comes.
What about Gideon Mensah? What do you left?
That boy, man.
He has such a good left foot, eh?
Yeah, no. You know, he looks like Abedi Pele on the ball. You know, there's no.
Abedi Pele, Andrew.
No. You see, there's some flair. You know, you twist the body some way, shake your duna some way.
But Sky, when Andre has the ball. And you've seen his father before.
Oh yeah,
that's Abedi Pele.
That's true. Well, but what Gideon Mensah goes, but you know, there's some catcher to it.
But yesterday, what Gideon Mensah gave us was something Godfred had said. Once we were going after a game, he was a good option to have down the left. The biggest example of his threat, he set up Kudus' goal. Kudus' second.
Okay.
It was his run past Jordan. Jordan passes the ball. He crosses it. It touches Iñaki. Boom.
But have you noticed something? Almost all our goals have come from the left side. Free kick came from the left side. Jordan assist came from the left side. Game against Portugal, Babaraman assist came from the left side. Andre's goal
from Kudus on
the left side. So, and I think the point the coach made about getting naturally left-footed players in their positions to give the team balance has actually worked, because you know most footballers are right-footed. So a lot of left-sided footballers are not real lefties. So for Ghana to have a left-sided centre back, a left-footed centre back, and a left-footed left winger. So basically about 4 people in the team are left-footed. Kudus is left-footed. Gideon Mensah is left-footed. What do you call it? The Salifu, what's his name?
Salisu is the centre back. Salisu
also left-footed.
Yes.
And then Baba Rahman is also left-footed.
Yes.
Andre is left-footed. It really gives a good balance.
Yes.
It gives a really, really good balance. So I think the technical angle of even the choice of players to put on the pitch.
Yeah.
Now, two things worried me.
Okay.
In the game against Portugal, we conceded 2 goals within a space of about 2 minutes or so. Yesterday, 2 goals within a space of about 5 minutes.
minutes.
What is wrong and how do we fix it?
One is the concentration, because if you look at the Portugal, the sequences were different a bit. The Portugal game, we had opened up the game because we were chasing goals.
Okay.
This one wasn't the same. We had just come back from a half where we were very comfortable, and then within a 3-minute period, they had scored the first. They had pulled one back, and then they added another one soon after that. So it wasn't like there was a sustained period of pressure.
Okay.
It was just one. Like if you look at the one Bernard described, the Tyreek situation, for instance, he had won the ball. It was going. They reacted quickly.
Yes.
The cross goes in, and there's a header from the blind side. You know, so I wouldn't really say what I can say is they have to improve their concentration levels. Okay. At this level, you cannot go to sleep
for a minute.
Much more within 5 minutes, you've been to sleep twice and you're punished twice. That is the level of efficiency of the World Cup.
Yeah.
If you look at a typical example was the Serbia-Cameroon game, where Serbia got so comfortable that they assumed that everyone was offside. Meanwhile, Abubakar had steadied them and was making runs off the shoulder like nobody's business. And all of it was onside. 3-3, just like that.
Abubakar's lob, was it deliberate?
Yeah! Sat the guy down and then just... that was quality. That was quality. So, those are the things that we need to fix. But I'm just saying, like, all in all, kudos to everybody yesterday. Every came on to
you haven't given me the data on Kudus yet. So you've been working your way around. You've done. So you haven't talked about my money yet.
So there are different aspects.
Tell me about Kudus, man.
Okay, so let me tell you about
like successful dribbles, those kind of things, like progressing with the ball. Attempted shots.
Is he left-footed or right-footed?
He's ambidextrous.
Oh,
he's left-footed. He's mostly left-footed.
Yeah.
But I hear his right foot is also good.
It's delightful. When
his first goal for the Black Stars was actually scored with his right foot.
And he's from Nima.
We have a superstar on our hands.
And
Charlie, in terms of front pages, Maurice Kwanzaa, this one, I can give you.
Kudos to Kudus.
Kudos to Kudus.
Yes.
Hey.
Kudus.
No, you get out.
If you look at
Maurice, you try.
Kudus' offensive numbers, a lot of his work was done beyond the midfield line.
Okay.
Because we needed him to progress the ball. So a lot of his touches, according to the data, happened there. The most touches through that side, breaking through the line from that side came from Mohamed Kudus.
Oh, you said breaking through the line?
Yes. So he had a 71% line break.
Wow.
Percentage. He attempted 7 and completed 5.
That's an A.
Yes. So he did really well in that regard. What I tend to look at is the passing networks that he chose as well.
Passing networks?
Yes.
So
who he gave the ball to? Was he depending more on his right back or the guy on his inside?
It was depending a lot on himself, actually.
So he would beat the guy and move the ball.
Thank you.
He was trying to create a lot of isolations for himself because naturally one-on-one you can't tackle him.
Because he's quick.
He's very quick.
So
and
if he puts a defender on one-on-one,
yes,
he will finish you.
Yes. So he did really well with that. And then if you go, let me see attempts at goal, for instance.
He didn't shoot a lot yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday.
Very efficient.
The attempts at goal, we had Party 5. Okay, that's his number. So
check.
Kudus on target goal.
He didn't hit a lot of shots. He's very efficient.
Body part, head. So 2.
So 2.
Yes.
Yeah. So the other thing is that a lot of teams take a lot of shots against us, but we don't take as many shots and we are more efficient.
Yes.
Is that also part of the strategy?
I don't know if that's
because we did like 9 shots, maybe 5 off target, 4 on target, 3 score.
I just think we are not very ball dominant yet.
Okay.
Because if you keep more of the ball, you create a lot more openings. And at the moment, a lot of teams keep the ball better than we. With Korea dominated possession in this game, Portugal dominated possession in the game against them, and I expect Uruguay to do the same in our match against them. We haven't really reached that level where the team is playing with that level of comfort. Where they're like we can just move the ball around at ease. They don't know each other that well yet.
They are not like
that's
that.
Why
They're not like the 2014
team. That's why we get it in spurts. So we can have like a 15-minute period. They know what they are doing, then it just breaks down.
But you can tell the team is being coached.
Oh yes, the technical team is doing a really good
like
job.
I said, I mean, the technical team's biggest headache going into this World Cup was letting this team stay in shape, be disciplined tactically, and then because for them it was going to be at the heart of everything. Because of the recognition that this was a young team in transition, this was a team they were trying to build, and now they had been given a chance to play at the World Cup, the highest level. So for them it was a matter of how do we let this team stay alive in a lot of matches, right? So you build that base first. Then when the confidence is there, you try to build on other things.
Do we have a good enough bench? So let's assume there's an injury to one of our players or whatever. Do we have enough? So are there people on the bench that can still do something?
There is strength in depth. I think it could have been better if we had sent some other players.
Okay.
But that's,
So who are one or two of the players on the bench that as the tournament progresses?
Yesterday we saw Kamau Dean come in yesterday. Normally an offensive player, but he came on yesterday to put in quite a defensive shift.
And
in the last 10 minutes of the game, he was doing all kinds of things.
He's also pretty quick, right?
He's lightning quick. He's a proper winger. But he hasn't had the opportunity to showcase too much of that yet. We have Kamau Soa on the bench. He's yet to touch the ball. Osman Bukari.
Kamau Soa for Bruce, what does he do for them?
He's a wide forward as well.
He's a wide forward.
Yeah, and he can even play up as a number 9 if you want him to.
And then Osman Bukari is what?
He's a wide winger.
He scored the second goal against Portugal.
Yes. He's also come into good effect. Yesterday, we saw Gideon start. He got tired with the cramps. Babaraman.
And Babaraman was solid.
Yeah. At a point, Jiku also came on when we needed some aerial support.
Odoye.
Yes. Dennis Odoye also came in when
we needed
somebody who will go forward.
Sorry, was Tariq supposed to man mark Son?
No.
Because everywhere I saw Son, I saw Tariq there with him.
Yeah, but you have to pay attention.
They say man marks on guy. The guy they go drink water every day. You
have to pay attention.
He mark up to.
You have to pay attention.
He mark up to the point of drinking water with you.
So I think, and yesterday the changes were I like the expansive use of the personnel. It's not like we know that okay, this one is coming and this one is going. Because if you look at even the switch in the starting lineup itself, the fact that okay, Alidu had a really solid game.
Yes.
Normally you will not think he will be on there, even though he risked suspension. Yes. They're like, okay, you sit down. Somebody else will come. He's got 3 options there. He's got Odoye, he's got Alidu.
And there are 3 different kinds of right backs. For 3 different kinds of things.
He's got Gideon Mensah.
Who is our third left back?
No, we just have that. But Alidu, in fact, can also play left back.
He can play left back.
And then centre back, you have Edu, you haven't used yet.
You haven't used
Jiku too.
You have Jiku on the bench.
So you don't have a problem like where if one centre back is not there, you're in big trouble.
Exactly. So it's more about how you shape the team.
And then Elisha Osu is also there.
Yeah, he hasn't touched the ball yet.
You also have your darling boy, what's his Freiburg guy? What's his name?
Yeah,
Tre, who for some games will be good to unlock
the team
fences. So who should Black Stars look? Who should we look out for? Who you think is yet to explode again? Because after now, Kudu's there, we know what he can do.
Yeah, but it's the World Cup. I think everybody will have their moments. Like yesterday, nobody was expecting Jordan to have a moment. People were hating before the game started. He had 2 moments.
My God.
He had 2 moments.
My God.
And I was telling somebody that prior to that, you see, I watched the game for a lot of details. When the pressure was on, the first 9 minutes of the game, Korea has 3 corner kicks. Every single defensive clearance from that corner kick was done by Andrea Ayew.
Charlie, are they so safe?
Yeah.
You see, so you will not recognize that. Yeah. But it's part of the collective. So you need everybody to do something.
Even how he positions himself to take those headers out.
You need somebody to do something for you at a certain point. Unfortunately, sometimes it's the attacking side that will get the credit, which is okay. We also need that. Yeah, but it's the balance of what you have that gives you victory. And like I said yesterday, Atizigi, for instance, showed everything that he has.
There was this free kick that they had 2 walls. They had a wall in front of and then they showed the camera from Atizigi's view that he wasn't going to see anything. He still reacted enough.
Yeah, that's right. That was to the poles. Yeah.
And there was a ball there was a save that I think it was from a header.
Yes, he got. And the guy entered the post.
Yeah, it was a brilliant
stop. But who is Chu?
Charlie, the Korean players, I don't know them like that.
Because there's the guy who scored the 2 goals.
Yeah.
Yes.
The guy, the wild guy.
Yeah, number 9, yeah?
Yeah, where does he play?
He came in as a substitute.
Where is he from?
He did his job.
Cho. Charlie, no Cho. Hey, Cho. Charlie, Cho, the wild.
But congrats. I'm happy.
This was a proper victory.
Yeah, I'm happy Ziggy has taken his chance.
Yes.
You know, he's one of the most vilified.
Oh, Charlie.
I think there was one game he didn't do well.
There have been a lot of games where, but we've not looked at the context of those games. All we see is that he's made errors.
And he helps the player from the back pretty well.
Yeah.
He's comfortable with his feet.
So Cho Gyu-sung plays in South Korea for Jeonbuk Hyundai Motors.
The guy, the Cho guy.
Hard guy.
player. No, we has to vote for go get Cho. Hey, Cho.
The hard guy.
It's not Tonu. Hey, Cho.
All right, up next is Your Money. Your Money is brought to you by CBG. CBG, we stand with you. And Bernard has the tip for us this morning.
You know, I don't usually go to. I have a lot of family groups. But this one, one of my brothers posted it on the family group, and I said, "This one, let me save it." You know, family sometimes they'll just post something. Now, if you eat some chicken, you end up eating something. You know those things that your aunties post. But this
one you are using.
This one, my brother posted it on the family platform. He said, "Cutting off your expenditure during these days of hardships." Points to note. Mm-hmm. So he gave about 15. I'll just give you 2.
2, okay.
And I think I'll spread the rest throughout the week. So it says, 1, instead of you to board a car for a long distance program such as a funeral or wedding or birthday or naming ceremony, send your donation through Momo to the affected person.
Okay.
And avoid paying transportation fare.
Okay.
They will understand.
That makes a lot of
Number
sense.
2, if a group of people wish to accompany a friend for any of the programs mentioned in a point, there should be a delegation of 2 or 3 maximum to represent the group.
That makes a lot of sense.
Don't go plenty.
Yeah.
Because transport is going to take your money. If I convert the fuel money to Momo and send to the people and just send them, God bless you, in a virtual hug.
Oh, that's it.
That was Your Money, brought to you by CBG. CBG, we stand with you.
A bank that supports you.
What do you get when you mix the best DJs in the country, the most amazing live band sets, delicious cocktails, and wonderful food? Back-to-back hit music from Ghana's finest group, Prayer, and being serenaded by the brilliantly talented Aquabua. The biggest outdoor party, of course. Situation 2022. Are you ready to party? We are changing the situation on December 24, 2022 with the biggest outdoor party in Accra. The Situation Outdoor Party 2022. Let's wrap up the year in style with the most epic party to end all parties this Christmas Eve with Situation. Make your Christmas Eve come alive with the most incredible DJs who will keep you dancing all night long. Amazing live band sets and the crooner Aquabua. It is the perfect ingredient for the best party this festive season. Ain't no party like a city party, because a city party don't stop. This will be another one to remember. Date Saturday 24th December 2022. Venue La Palm Royal Beach Hotel, Accra. Time 8 p.m. Dress code, it's an all-white affair. For table booking, call 020-5973-973 or 055-8973-973. Book your table and make reservations now. Media partners, Ghana Weekend and City FM. This is powered by City TV. This is a Beyond the Return event.
the villain I Never Was album for Jordan.
Jordan.
Yeah, so he says you dig into that. This one is coming in from Zilix Duane, my man, inside London. He says, kudos to the Black Stars, and we are going to qualify, inshallah, for the next stage of the competition. This one is coming in from Manuel, inside Tema. He says that, good morning, Nathan. Please ask Godfrey to explain why Abubakar of Cameroon's goal wasn't an offside. And do I see Brazil ahead after Uruguay and now?
Think of one problem at a time. don't think of two. Just solve one problem first.
Yeah, so
Abubakar's goal was not offside.
Was not offside.
Yeah.
His run was perfectly timed.
Yeah.
The run, you see, you want your striker to always make a bent run.
They call it from. They call the run from out to in.
You know, so you want him to make a bent run. And yesterday he executed it like textbook. It was textbook twice.
Wow.
It was textbook. Look, it was so textbook that the Serbian defenders did not. They haven't seen a textbook before.
So he was onside.
It was perfect. Look, he went in and just bent the run like boom, and the pass also met him.
And then the way he lifted the
but
ball,
the finishing, the compo, that is all experience.
Embarrassing.
That is all experience.
He embarrassed the guy.
That's all experience.
First, the defender sat down.
Tashi.
Charlie. More messages for you.
And you know, there's another one. The other question is what about Brazil and Uruguay? What's happening?
I don't want to see that. I'm with Bernard on that one. Let's deal with our Uruguay problem first.
Beat Uruguay.
Let's have that. Let's
qualify.
Yeah, because
then after that, you see what happens.
in Jamaica.
It's not the problem.
You have to beat the guy.
Just
Let me take you to this one, which is coming in from Tete, from Sunya. He says, congratulations to our gallant Black Stars. The country appreciates your efforts and hard work in yesterday's game. You chased and caught your dreams. Go for qualification in our last group game against Uruguay on Friday. Keep the spirit higher. This one says, we often lose the ball when we make too many touches. If we are to string many passes like Barcelona, etc., then we should have the men with the ability to handle the ball better.
What should we do?
And he goes on to say that...
Select who you have. So
let's select who you have, really.
Okay, this one is coming in from Kobe inside Springtex, and he says, good morning, Nathan. I believe the team is really bonding, but we seem to be conceding a particular type of goal so far. After Salisu scored, he made that signal of staying focused. But Charlie, Kudus Day. Kudus Day.
Charlie, second goal, no, you know, on a normal day, Obiba boom boom.
Boom boom. They just calmly
went for policemen.
Yeah, that's right.
But if you watch the profile of Kudus's goals, right? This goal is that's your typical Kudus goal.
He passes it into the
cut back and then hits it. Now, because to score that kind of goal, don't hit it hard. Remember, the goalkeeper is following the cross as it comes. So they'll tell you that the number one rule, if a cross is coming, hit it where it
moved from.
Or they tell you head it back across, that kind of thing.
There's physics in football.
Because he's already committed.
He's committed to one side. He can't reach.
He passes it into the net.
And there's also that conversation I was having with that. You see, what you see on the paper is not what is executed on the park. If you look at Kudus's finishing positions, it's not where somebody who is supposed to be playing wide would normally end up. The header that he was in there for is in the position it's somebody who is playing behind the striker, normally you find them. So I guess
he drifts in a lot.
Yes, I guess the instructions were very specific that he finds himself in certain areas of the park. That's what I'm saying. I think the coaching team, they've done a good job.
So Kudus prefers to drift into the middle.
You would want him closer to goal.
You want him closer to goal. That's his strongest area.
His left foot is wild.
Let me take you to Charles from Tema, who says, you guys are unbelievable. So when it comes to Ghanaian players' performance, one needs to have a technical eye to see it, Abi. But everyone saw the performance of Diego, Johan Cruyff, Javier Hernandez, etc. when they played, shaking my head. I think it's basically saying that. I mean,
no, but I was saying that Jordan has. You know, a lot of times people criticize Jordan and Partey. So what Godfrey was doing was to use the stats to show that they actually did very well. Sometimes fans get frustrated because it's like the guy is not playing well, or he's not doing what he's expected to do at Arsenal. And he explained that yesterday. The thing Arsenal has around is not the same.
Yeah, the quality.
But he used data to prove. So we are not saying that. Look, I mean, let's cut the players some slack. You know, let's cut the players from slack. Right?
I'm saying yesterday there was one guy on my platform who was like, after Tariq made the error, the transition, he lost the ball. Someone says we should remove Tariq from the game. Then you can't coach. That is how you watch. If you
then you sub everybody.
You remove everybody. When you have some 5 substitutes, he said they should remove Tariq because he has made a mistake.
This one says, please, the Koreans pick up our weak areas. Playing 4 back or back 4. 2 defenders were left alone. If one of them goes out to tackle in the left back position, the defenders don't position themselves. They cross the ball and they can't defend. They use the sun in this area where nobody was playing. They pass the ball to the left back area and get the stars to focus on and leave Son along on the right back area to tackle the ball. Fullback players should be cautioned on this. This one is coming in from, it doesn't have a name. It says, good morning, team. I'm enjoying the analysis. Can Godfred help with the meaning of reception in yesterday's match?
I think he called it something to receive.
Yes. So, basically, when a player has the ball, for instance, Alowski is my teammate. He's looking for somebody to pass the ball. Most of the time, you realize that a player would gesticulate with his hands. Who's showing? So somebody has to show up and receive the ball from him. A lot of times, the difficulty we've had is nobody wants to show up because the person who goes to collect the ball, if you make an error from there, there's a problem. Okay, so that's where you had Partey showing up a lot. You had Salis showing up a lot. You had Jordan Ayew showing up a lot.
Give me the ball.
You just give me the ball.
I know what to do.
We'll take it from there.
Thank you.
So that is what we mean by the coming in to receive the ball. The office mate. Like he will show up. Give me the ball. A lot of times, sometimes players hide a lot.
Just to put things into context, right? It's why, for example, Man United fans will go ape over Scott McTominay and say he's a bad player. Wow. Not because he doesn't know how to pass the ball. But for example, when his defenders have the ball, he's hiding. He won't show for it. Whereas, for example, Thiago Alcantara give them the ball.
That's the difference.
He's not afraid of it.
He's finished teaching the team.
Casemiro says, give me the ball.
If you have McTominay, we have no one that wants to buy Casemiro.
Have you seen the difference? Have you seen why United will blow money on Casemiro? You say, why are they doing it? Just to solve a problem that looks as basic as somebody receiving.
It's simply a matter of reception.
He doesn't want to receive the ball and cause any problem.
Then I'm going to tell the Man U board. When a Liverpool defender has the ball, he has Thiago Alcantara.
I have
McTominay.
Exactly.
How can we go for it?
So it sounds very basic, but who receives the ball there is one of the most crucial elements of progression that you will get in a team, which is why it's
is that what they say about master game? Imagine I said, Charlie, I can about master game.
Thiago the master game. Thiago Alcantara the master game.
The master game.
Overconfidence.
About master game.
Yeah, Thiago Alcantara. Ideas.
The most elegant looking footballer in world football. Like when you watch him, he's beautiful to watch.
So it's a skill we underestimate. But as I'm saying, we are happy to have Partey now. Yes. His ability to receive the ball.
Cool it down.
Yeah. You see his
just
body shape
there. His body
to
just
receive it and find
it,
options. It comes naturally to him.
Yeah.
Okay. Somebody you don't want.
It's always at the right angle. The angle where he can see somebody on his left, somebody on his right. He always has an eye view that scans the park.
Just to even put this into proper context, that's why a lot of Ghanaians have problems with Baba Idrisu.
Okay.
He does not know how to receive the ball.
Okay.
He's just so. He ends up most of the time dropping very deep to even join the back four because he doesn't want to receive the ball. Find somebody else to give the ball to. He doesn't want it.
Whereas if you have your party, even if there's somebody following him, he knows what to quickly play a pass
around the person's
around
side.
The person, around the side.
Left foot, right foot.
You want that.
This one says my 2 favorite people when it comes to football.
There's a question for him yesterday.
Okay, there's one. Okay, Aguze. He says that please, was Dede effective in our game? He was not moving to receive the passes.
He was moving to receive passes. Dede was effective for 60 minutes. After that, he was gone. After that, he was gone.
The thing with Andre is that you have to understand that he's 33 now.
We'll take the 60 minutes of Andre like that.
Yes, you have to understand he can't last 90
minutes. Even if you play for 10 minutes,
you understand. So the technical team need to, he's gas, take him off. Then you know he's there once he's done executing his work, make the change, take him out.
I'll give you 2 sequences. Just think on this one. There was a sequence where we had the ball. Around the 15th, 16th minute, that's when the pressure was on us, and we're trying to make progress. But there were only two attackers who were moving. It was Andre and Inaki. And he realized that we're not adding up. That is the midfield.
Unless we're not joining.
Unless we're not joining. So he slowed the game down. Somebody touched him, and then he fell. Foul.
What a foul.
So everybody else comes a break on the left. Same situation.
A lot of people.
There was nobody coming apart from Iñaki because he needed support.
So he will let you foul.
So he waited, and then they fouled him. Everybody come.
I think they teach them how to collect foul.
Move up. You might get frustrated by it because you are like, go. But his thinking might also be, well, if I go, I'm alone. And at the moment, the team's mindset is that we don't want to push up. So if he wins the foul up there, the team moves from their current position and come forward a bit. So the team has moved.
Wow. Charlie, it's a serious thing.
Charlie. There's a science to it.
I tell you.
This one, it says that my two favorite people when it comes to football punditry, mentioning Godfred and Nathan, always refreshing listening.
I think they went to some university.
I am retired from this. It is only because of the CBS.
But the way you are pulling the data.
University of Agro. Maybe they are doing UEFA license code.
I let it be known that I'm the technical director of Taking Over FC.
Yes. So he has to know his stuff.
I am the technical director of Taking Over FC.
The way you make word.
They're delivering the thing, running in between the lines, breaking the lines.
Yes. But you see now that's how the game is.
We all we know is master gift.
And Jackass. This was a City team. I want to know whether we can have 10 minutes.
No, there's a question there.
Before
that, okay, this one from Joe, who says that, good morning, Team City. Please, why do the linesmen wait for so long before lifting their flags for offside? Is that how it should be?
Yes, the rules have changed. So these days, the officials will tell you that they wait until the sequence ends before they flag.
Let the ball go into the net.
Or they wait until the play goes dead. Or like the sequence has to end. Okay. But they know if somebody's offside. They've already taken note.
Of it.
You see, like Abubakar's goal. If it was 3 years ago, the referee would flag him offside.
Okay.
But they waited for him to finish.
Let the sequence end
completely, and then they checked.
Because there was another game where somebody was offside. I think the guy.
I'll even tell you something.
I
saw it yesterday.
The Vinicius goal.
Yes.
Richarlison was offside initially, got involved in play, and then Vinicius got the ball.
Yes. I'm sure the people at the stadium were because I looked at it, I said Vinny wasn't offside. Yes. And then later they explained that it was Richarlison who was offside. He touched the ball and passed to Vinicius.
But the other question I have is does the referee have discretion to use the VAR? Because I still don't understand why he didn't use VAR for the
the VAR is pretty difficult to understand.
Yeah, because the Ronaldo goal against us.
The penalty.
Why didn't you look at it again?
This is the basic principle of VAR. The VAR was brought in to help referees correct clear and obvious errors. What is a clear and obvious error? An error that the referee did not genuinely see, or one that he couldn't have decided. So this is what happens. Something happens. You foul Richard Sky. I didn't see it. Then I'm told that something happened 10 seconds ago on your blind side. Go to the monitor and check and make your decision. So the VAR gives the referee another chance to see an incident.
But how do they use? Okay, so do they use VAR differently for offside?
So something happens. So it's offside. Now as the goal is scored in football these days, when the goal is scored, it's already being checked. Now when they see something, they say, okay, we have seen this, but you come and check, see for yourself and make a decision.
But sometimes they tell the referee in his ear, and sometimes he goes to check.
That's what I'm saying. So the referee is told, come and have a look,
because they the people in the VAR are not sure.
They've seen something, they may not
because
be
there
sure.
are certain times they will tell you, like for example Andre's goal, the referee didn't go and check. They told him in his ear that it's a goal.
Yeah, it's a goal. Yes.
Now Ronaldo and Salisu first game. I mean, another referee would have said it was 50-50. Why didn't he do the VAR?
For me, I'm still trying to understand.
Why?
Because the VAR would have helped you see whether Salisu touched the ball before
or he didn't touch the man at all.
Yeah, so I don't understand how they didn't use that
former
VAR.
Premier League referee Mike Dean, he was on beIN Sport, and he said that as to how the VAR officials did not tell the referee to have a look, it beats him.
Yeah, because the ball, the two of them went for the ball,
and he was behind them.
Yes, and the guy and Salis touched the ball. Maybe their thighs rubbed against each other, but the referee could have. And the referee said no, it be penalty.
No, as for that guy, has he ever refereed any other game?
I don't know.
No, referee or fight.
Let me take you to this one coming in from Kojo inside Kaswa. Says Team City. I want to know whether we can have 10 minutes extra time in football. What is the new rule? Because previously you had 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes.
But yesterday even Portugal had 9 minutes.
Yeah, but these days
the previous rule,
10 minutes.
The previous rule was that they
minutes.
would approximate how much time was lost.
Okay.
And then they'll say, let's say 4 minutes. Or depending if there's a lengthened injury or long injury, they add it. But for this World Cup, the rules change, right? Referee Colina, who's the referee's head at FIFA, he stated that over time they had noticed that they couldn't really approximate how much time was being wasted.
Okay.
So now they will, when they give the time, is to make up for all the time potentially lost through time wasted.
So, for instance, if you score a goal, it's 1 minute and 30.
Yes.
If you make a substitution, it's 30 seconds.
30 seconds.
Oh, okay.
All those elements.
So yesterday there were 5. So for every goal scored, for every goal scored, they add 1.5 minutes.
Wow.
So if there are 10 goals scored, calculate 10 goals by 1.5 minutes. Every change is 30 seconds. You understand? Okay. Now let me give listeners a bit of an example. I don't know how many people remember this very tempestuous Manchester derby that was played when Owen scored the winning goal.
4-3.
The 4-3. Many people, even Mark Hughes said,
I watched that game in Nigeria.
That it was 90 something.
2009.
I was at the stadium.
I was so angry.
The advertised time was 94 minutes. It was 4 minutes of injury time. Owen minimum. You see, 4 minutes minimum. Owen scored in the 95th minute and 20th second. Now, the next morning, referee Dermot Gallagher broke something that he said in the Premier League. That was there. I don't know if the rules have changed. For every goal scored, they added an extra 45 seconds to make up for celebration. Every change attracted a 30-second penalty. Heading into injury time, Man United made 2 changes. And Man City made, I think, a change or so. So if you work out the math, Owen's goal actually falls within the stipulated time.
The way Mark Hughes boy.
They won't beat the referee. So people need to understand how.
This is a ball. I watched that game with Xerox for Charlie. But we know what the highlights is.
Let me take you to this one, which is coming in from Robert in the port city of Tema. He says, "Good morning, City Breakfast Show. In yesterday's game against Korea, the team selection was right, tactics on point, the shape of the team right, and the substitutions were on spot on and timely, especially the change to the back 3. Hartford win for Ghana. Great game of football yesterday." This one from Azuri.
Good game.
Lika in Kanishi says that isn't it time we showed appreciation for Otu Ado? The so-called trainer scout we have as a part-time coach is the main difference between our performance at the AFCON and the performance going on now.
Otto is doing well. The technical team is doing well. I tell they are working as a team.
And this one is coming in from Nene Ayiku. He says, Nathan, Otuado should have tasked Tariq and Gideon to limit their offensive runs in the second half. We were 2 goals up and needed to protect the lead, but we were playing like we wanted more goals. And that's how the Koreans equalized. And this one says, Tariq Lamptey was an impressive defender.
Short man devil.
Charlie, the guy is short.
He's a proper right back. Very short.
Very short. Very short. But quick.
Guys, I don't.
And this one says what? It's from Eben in Tema. He says, "Hi CBS, Mr. Sky. Please, how does your laughter come? Sometimes I ask myself whether you guys don't have any problems in your life."
Sometimes the laughter is to suppress the
problem.
If I'm not laughing, I'll go mad.
Let me read something somebody sent as part of the show. His name is Abdul. I don't know him, but he sent it to me. And I think he says, always rewatch games if you want to understand football.
Yes.
The game is different when you watch it with no emotions.
Yes. Okay.
Atizigi made 0 saves in the first half. Korea had 9 corners in the first half, but we got first contact on 7 of those.
They didn't even do a shot on target in the first half.
Those.
With all their so-called dominance.
We weren't close to conceding like it felt during the rest of the game. Defensively, Jordan was superb. He tracked back and protected Mensah all the time. He drew very important fouls and one led to the opener. His deliveries, though, out of this world.
Too much.
He says Kudus's dummy before he took the free kick was very crucial.
Yes.
It disjointed their defensive line. And also helped keep us onside. Small details make a big difference. Then he goes on. Abdul, this is really good. I'm reading. Should I read all of it?
I love it. Really,
Okay.
Continue.
He says Tariq Lamptey didn't have such cover on his side because Kudus was drifting in,
as you said,
instead of staying wide.
As you said.
And I think Otuado should have rectified that at the break.
Okay.
Around the 11th minute, when Partey had to move across the right half space to give Lamptey a helping hand on a 2v1 situation, he remonstrated Kudus to get back and help Lamptey defensively.
You know, Partey was talking a lot yesterday.
Yes.
I told you, he was coaching on the pitch.
Yesterday.
So this guy knows his football.
I swear.
So the day Ayew was anonymous going forward, but he was relentlessly tracking back and blocking passing lanes. He won 2 very crucial headers from corners. Kudus on the ball is just brilliant to watch.
Oh my God.
So smooth, so slick.
Charlie.
He still clearly has levels to go.
Yes, please.
He's going to be some player in his prime.
I tell you.
The header was brilliant. The cross only needed a minute touch, and he provided just that.
Unlike the one Ronaldo wanted to steal from Bruno.
He should be more alert defensively. He says, Lamptey is not quick. That boy is rapid.
That's the exact word I use. He's rapid.
He said that boy is rapid.
Wow.
Inaki did well than I thought in the first half, but he didn't attack crosses with the desired force. Korea targeted his side. Probably not because they believe he's the weakest link, but rather they were playing through their main man, Son.
Okay.
He also provided very good crosses that I believe Inaki could have attacked them better. Amati and Salisu, imperious.
Thank you.
On 2 occasions, Amati was 1v1 against Son. And he sunned him on both occasions.
Thank you. I even saw some place to ref and said, you know me from Leicester, don't stop.
Salisu is just a complete centre back.
Yes.
Both very assured in possession too. Salis Abdul Samed never stopped running.
Yes.
Always dropped between the CBs when we played out from the ball.
Wow.
Technically clean and very press resistant.
Yes.
A couple of loose passes in Korea's half that gave them the opportunity to counter. Partey is in his element.
Thank you.
He played like a real leader in the first half.
Thank you.
Pointing to where players should move when we had possession. An orchestra director.
Thank you.
Doubled up on the right when Lamptey needed covering.
Yes.
Probably should have scored from that last minute header.
Between shoulder and head and neck.
He says a half of 2 halves. The first half.
A half of 2 halves.
The first half of the half belonged to Korea.
Yes.
But we defended in our numbers and didn't allow them to score. Before our goal, we'd had 1 touch in their box. But goals indeed change games.
Thank you.
And the rest of the half belonged to us.
Thank you.
In real time, I didn't realize our passing moved before the second goal. Patient and controlled in that sequence. 32 passes, swagger and panache.
Thank you.
He then goes on to talk about the second half. Should I read the second half?
No, I want to. Read extra time.
Break the game down.
This is the difference between pass mark and distinction. You see, so when they say analyze this with authorities deciding.
Read the second half.
No. So solid paper.
Read the second half.
You know, the guy sent it to me in my Twitter DM right now. He says, on to the second half. He says, Charlie, I say always rewatch games. I missed so many actions because I was emotionally attacked,
angry,
and judged things with my heart instead of my eyes. The first 5 minutes was okay. We knew they will come fighting, but we could see we were prepared. Then we got the warning about 10 minutes into the second half. They used both flanks, but they used our right more because of their talisman Son operating on that side.
Yes.
This is where I think we should have done something tactically very early. Maybe have Jiku on for 3 at the back, and thus Lamptey would not tag in and leave spaces wide, or bring a more defensive right back on. Kudus increased his defensive intensity, but he had to maintain his position high to give us an outlet when we turn over possession.
Yes.
Korea's left back is incredible with his crosses. Yes, he made the most crosses in the game. And he makes well-timed overlapping and underlapping runs. They started getting crossing opportunities again like the first 20 minutes of the first half. Choi stung the hands of Atisigi around the 54th minute with a fantastic header.
Yes.
Big warning.
Yes.
Dede Ayew had one of his least effective games going forward. We had a great break and he used Partey's run as a decoy brilliantly. But the switch to Inaki and Kudus on the right should have been a second or 2 earlier.
It was too slow.
We had them.
Should have scored.
Then the 10 minutes of madness happened. We want to believe football is a science. We have to believe that in order to put in the correct preparations for situations. But sometimes it is just about sheer will.
Thank you.
Sometimes it's just about who wants it more.
That turnover at the Tariq side.
Once in a while, you are reminded that the game is about determination and passion just as much as tactics and formation.
Thank you.
Cho wanted it more than our defenders.
That was the whole point.
That
was the whole point.
It then goes on to it says, I believe in criticizing players in the good moments when you win. That way you know you are not being reactionary and looking for scapegoats. Also, you're not hit on someone who's already down. I have watched the goal repeatedly, and I believe Salisu didn't know Cho was that close behind him.
Yes.
I believe if he knew he was just behind him, he would have took another step and blocked the cross with his big frame.
Yes, please.
Instead of trying to clear it with his less favorite right foot.
Yes.
Based on how highly I rate the guy, he could have done better there.
It's true.
I have seen 1 or 2 comments saying Atizigi should have saved it.
Oh, no.
Come on,
guys.
The striker made the contact with the ball almost inside the 6-yard box.
No,
the goalkeeper had no reaction time.
Yes.
He then goes on to talk about Mensah. Let me give you a Mensah. He says, Mensah had a very good game.
Yes.
But if you are not going to jump at least back into the attacker and not allow him to have a free run at the cross.
Jump over you.
What a wonderful header though. What a powerful header though.
Yeah.
He just wanted it more.
It's true.
And he says, then Ghana reacted. That's something we're overlooking.
It's true.
To lose a 2-goal lead and not feel sorry for yourself, that takes some mettle.
It's true.
Big fortitude.
Yes, true.
Before the 3rd goal, Salis produced an excellent line-breaking pass to Iñaki. He was offside, but that showed another aspect of Salis's game that he hasn't been able to show because he has really got into a chance to enter into the final third. The boy can pass.
Yeah.
Then the goal. In real time, I didn't realize we scored that quickly after the equalizer. Kudos took his goal brilliantly. He could have easily skied it, but he maintained his composure and produced a control finish. Football, In 10 minutes, our emotions changed from comfortable to uncomfortable, to dejected and to ecstatic.
I tell you.
Only football can make you feel like this.
I tell you.
The guy writes this.
Who is this guy?
This is an A paper.
What's his name?
His name is Abdul. Just sends me.
You know, the way he writes it,
I could read this all day.
He's basically connecting the dots for us.
Yes.
Yeah. A lot of the things we've tried to say that we've not had the words to say, he's actually made it make sense.
And he highlighted something. Always rewatch games. When you watch a game again,
with all the
you start to, like, for example, I watch games once, but when I go back to watch it and I go like, oh wow, the team did well.
And he mentioned something. I think we all missed this. Charlie, this boy is smart. He says, Iñaki had 2 very good runs I completely missed because I was too tense. One could have resulted in a goal if Che had a better first touch. He ran from inside his own half to the edge of Korea's box. Hold on. He ran from inside his own half to edge of Korea's box and even on tired legs still produced a very smart pass to Che. We got a corner from it. A breather, he calls it. Also had another when he was triple teamed. He managed to keep possession and win us a throw in. Another breather. These are the things I was so peeved he couldn't enjoy. He didn't do in real time, but he actually did. I missed these actions because of my emotions. And then he goes on to do other things. It's a really good write-up.
No, I think you should have it. If
you give the permission,
you can publish it. I mean, it's a brilliant.
His review is amazing.
Brilliant.
His review is amazing. I think that summarizes the game. Before you guys move to something else, though, so what do you expect going forward? I think we have only 3 teams fully qualified. So
Brazil, Portugal.
Yeah.
Brazil and Portugal. Spain hasn't qualified. They drew that second game with Germany.
I think it's France.
And France, yes.
Okay, 3.
So Brazil, they have 6 points.
Yes, they have 6 points.
France have topped their group.
They have.
For them, there's nobody who can get 6 points. But even Brazil and Portugal, they've qualified, but we don't know who's going to top their group. Group A is today, right?
Yes, Groups A and B.
Senegal is playing.
So Senegal is taking on Ecuador.
It's like a shootout for almost like second place.
Yes. And then Qatar is taking on the Netherlands.
We expect Netherlands to win.
Yes, you expect them to win.
But can Senegal?
What do you think about
this? I worry a bit for Senegal because I've seen them play. Qatar was an easy opponent, so that's a free hit. I watched them play against the Dutch, and I thought they were blunt. And the Ecuadorians naturally are defensive, a very solid team, drilled, solid. They understand what they are doing, and I kind of worry a little for Senegal in terms of would they be able to find the attacking edge and get the goals? If they can, great. As for the other game, is an absolute feast.
So hold on.
Holland will absolutely tear apart.
So basically, Holland is going to top the group.
Unless, of course, the unthinkable happens.
You mean they'll
get 7 points. So it's a shootout between Ecuador and Senegal
as to who joins them.
Yeah. Okay, so let me just give proper credit. So his name is Abdul Malik Pomasi.
Abdul Malik Pomasi.
Somebody says I think he has a bit of a coaching background, the way he's written.
Send to my DM to me.
He's done really well.
Yes, he's speaking from a great level of understanding. And then the other group is Group B, which I like.
Let me ask Godfrey before you go. So Ecuador Senegal is a shootout for second place. Who's going to win?
That game will be tight.
But it will be exciting.
Yes. I like this Ecuador team. From day one, I've said this is Ecuador's golden generation.
Hey, I don't pony.
No, everybody and what their golden generation is.
A team that's got Caicedo.
Yeah, they've got some of the most vaunted young players in European football.
Caicedo, Estupinan,
Valencia.
Gonzalo Plata. I hope so.
Senegal will score there. What other game do we have? England, Charlie, US.
Geopolitical warfare.
but credit. I listened to a US guy who plays for Leeds.
Tyler Adams.
And he was asked a very aggressive question about
Tyler Adams.
Yeah, how he mispronounced the name Iran.
Iran.
And then how his country discriminates and things. Charlie, the way the guy answered the question. No. I was so like the guy was basically the guy said, you know what? I'm sorry I mispronounced the country's name. And then as for the issue of discrimination, every country discriminates.
Courtesy.
But that's why I'm committed to educating myself. Like you educated me about how your country spells its name.
Wow.
And he sort of, after answering the question, I was like, wow. The guy who asked the question was like, you know what, it's okay. They came back.
The Iranian journalists went.
They went for him.
They came with a plan.
I tell
that
you.
They were not going to ask football-related questions.
Oh.
No. They say if you are at that press conference, if you try asking a football-related question, the way they will shut you down.
Yeah.
Charlie, if you got your time, Greg Berhalter said, "Can we please get a football question?" They say, "Master, shut up and answer the question."
So they were only asking political questions.
You know, and you see, it was this armband mata that provided all the chemistry, the chaos, and all the.
But on the football itself, for that group, what do you guys think? US, Iran.
I worry for the Americans.
Hey,
I worry for them.
Is it motivation matter?
No, technically, I think this team, just like the Senegal team, they don't have a cutting edge. They don't have goals in them.
Wow.
And if you watch how the Iranians played in that game against, who did they beat? Wales.
Yeah.
What they have, you see, all of a sudden, circumstances have contrived to give Iran motivation to play.
Yeah.
And like we've seen it, sometimes it's just raw emotion.
Like he said,
yes, if you want it more. And you get the sense that nothing inspires Iran greater than beating the Americans. Look, in 1998, I remember in 1998, they were in the same group. They beat the USA 2-0.
So you feel motivations on Iran's side?
Yes. Yeah. Plus, if you look at a coach like Carlos Queiroz, his teams are very. The England game it went out of their hands very early. Yeah. But typically, your Iranian team is very drilled, very solid, and they have this X factor about them.
So you feel Iran...
They will give the Americans problems.
They have 3 points now. The Americans have 2 draws. Mm-hmm. So whoever wins that game is...
And you see, now the Americans don't have a choice now to go for it. And that plays perfectly into Iran's hands, who could pick them off on the break.
And egos are at stake.
There are all kinds of... You see, it's a very interesting...
So will the politics spill over onto the pitch?
No, certainly.
It's already spilling over. Look at this.
I don't think it does. Don't forget that a lot of this is media generated. I don't think the players themselves.
No. If you understand how Iranian citizenship works, it's just like what you see with the South Koreans and the North Koreans. It is the same thing. Of course, there are currently issues in Iran.
Because a lot of the players are saying they support the protesters.
That's right, which is about how the morality police working and all of that. But there's some redefinition of patriotism in their context. That means something else to them. Yeah. And if it
this one, they are going to war.
Oh, Charlie, you'll
be interesting.
When are they playing?
They're playing that game. Those games are at 7 p.m. So
let me ask you a question. Which of the games will you watch? Wales, England, or Iran, US?
Well, okay, I would typically have wanted to watch the England game because England is a team I like. Mm-hmm. But I'll watch the USA. Chaos. You like it?
So if I were to ask you to predict who's going to qualify from Group A, you're saying Netherlands, but I'm not sure whether Cameroon or whether Senegal or you can't stick your neck out. But what about Group B?
England and Iran.
Hey, you'll be this bold?
Yes, England and Iran to qualify.
US is going home?
Yeah, the Americans will go home.
Agoto, is that true? England, but England will qualify with Iran.
Tell after making predictions, it's not going well for you.
Okay, now what is your heart saying? What's your head saying? You know that's always a good place to start it from. Because Nathan is basically saying Iran is more motivated than the US. And that after what the recovery from the 6-2 to beat Wales 2-0, Iran is not going to lose to the US. Plus, and if they avoid defeat, they qualify.
I think US wins.
You think US wins?
I think US.
Okay, so tomorrow morning, Sky, we have to
We'll be
decide
back here.
who will win the day.
I think US wins.
Okay, can we continue the other groups just briefly? Group C is who and who and who?
Group.
Open the groups. Some of the groups have become very complicated
Yeah,
now.
I'll get you that in a
There's
second.
one group that
I think Morocco will qualify.
I think that's Belgium.
They've given themselves a fine chance.
After beating Belgium, just
things happen.
Look,
things happen.
Belgium is meeting Croatia. Croatia needs to qualify. Belgium needs to qualify. They will cancel each other out. You are meeting Costa Rica.
So Group C, you've got Poland and Argentina playing at 7 p.m. tomorrow.
And they are
and Saudi Arabia.
Poland has 4.
Poland has 4.
Argentina has 3.
Argentina 3.
Saudi Arabia has 3.
Yes. Mexico on 1. Yes.
Wow.
And so
tricky.
That's
tricky.
So if Saudi beats Mexico, they qualify.
They qualify.
The way Mexico will score them. I think I told you that thing, it was for the first game, the Saudi team. The scoring Mexico will score them.
It will be dirty.
I told you that Saudi Arabia won't beat anybody else in that
Mexico
group.
beats them, Mexico gets 4 points.
That thing was shakara.
But it's going to be complicated because Argentina has 3.
Yes.
Poland has 4.
Poland, yeah.
If they draw, it will be 4-5.
Whichever way, me and Saudi Arabia's part I want to talk about.
and then tomorrow afternoon.
The rest they can do what they want to do.
Tomorrow afternoon, Australia, Denmark, and Tunisia, France.
Charlie, Tunisia disappoints me.
Yeah,
Tunisia, because the African teams have done well. Tunisia don't have cutting edge. They are organized, but
They
somehow
are.
they don't.
Tunisian football, you see, is very in
there's
the
something
last few years. Tunisian football has changed because in the 90s to the mid noughties, they were a very expansive side. But after the likes of Jaziri, Francilio dos Santos, after that generation left, they decided to play a bit more conservative.
You are trying to play like Europeans, but I don't have the. I don't know.
They are close to Europe.
So they frustrate me because I really want them to do well, but they always they go to the World Cup, they go and draw, they go and lose. So I don't have hope for them to qualify.
No, it doesn't. It will be tough.
It will be tough for them.
Didier Deschamps will change his team a bit because they've already qualified. He will give others the opportunity.
So who are the other 2 teams in that group? Australia
and Denmark.
So it's like straight shootout for second.
Yeah, straight shootout for second. Yeah.
I think the Danish should qualify.
Yes, they do. They do have the quality.
Morocco.
That's in the other group, right?
Charlie, Morocco, you can win against Belgium and you say it was a fluke. They actually beat Belgium well. It wasn't like
it was convincing.
And now they are meeting Costa Rica.
Yes.
Yeah, they should be able to score them some 3 goals.
No, is it Costa Rica they are meeting?
No, they are not. They are not in the same group. The Costa Rica group is the Japan.
Sorry, who is Morocco meeting?
So that's on Thursday. Morocco is playing Canada.
Oh yeah,
Morocco will beat them.
And then Croatia take on Belgium.
It should be routine.
All of a sudden, the Belgians are in trouble.
Because if Croatia beats Belgium, Belgium is out.
They are out, yeah.
And whatever happens, once Morocco wins, they qualify.
They qualify. 6
and
points.
in fact, if Morocco avoids defeat,
they could qualify.
Because if they avoid defeat, they have
5.
Because they drew their first game. No, so not they could, they would qualify.
Yes.
So once Morocco doesn't lose against Canada, they have 5 points.
They have 5 points. That's
whatever
enough to
happens
get
in the
through.
first game.
The other game.
Now the other thing is that I think Morocco should win because if they win, they top the group.
And then that
Of course,
gives him
and that
quality.
once
Because
you are
you see,
in
if you
Group
top
F,
the group, you're meeting a less. So Morocco could actually be Africa's best hope.
probably, but you see the team in the other group, it depends on who finishes second in Group E. That's the Germany, Japan, Spain, and Costa Rica.
Oh
group.
Lord, that group
is also not decided.
What's happening in that group?
Well, the Germans have stayed alive. They drew the last game. So they are on 1 point.
If that can be considered.
So Spain has 4.
But they've got to play Costa Rica.
Spain has 4.
Spain has 4. Japan on 3. Costa Rica on 3. Germany on 1.
And Germany plays Costa Rica.
Yes.
So if Germany wins, they get 4.
And they go on, they get 4.
And if Japan versus Spain, we don't know what's going to happen.
You never know what's going to happen.
Oh Lord. So that is a bit confusing.
Yeah, it gets.
No, but I think I'm really hopeful for Morocco, because if Morocco beats Canada, they top the group.
Yeah.
If they draw, they second.
Still in there.
So Morocco have a real good chance of
do.
progressing. It's Cameroon that have made it too difficult for themselves.
Yeah, they play Brazil next.
You should have gone to Brazil with at least 3 points.
I know we'll fight for a draw.
Yeah, because Brazil have qualified, but I'm sure a second string Brazil.
They will change. We'll see the likes of Gabi Jesus, hopefully Gabi Martinelli, a few others.
Brazil looks very good. Brazil looks very good, but they struggled against Switzerland.
Yeah, Switzerland have always given them headaches.
Yes.
They're very well organized.
They're very organized.
As for the Swiss organization of their football team, Charlie, it's on point. I think the last 2 World Cups or so,
they've met.
Like, and they always like they get a lot of draws at World Cups. The Swiss, the Danes, they are draw specialists.
They will just frustrate you.
They frustrate your life.
Look at what they did to France in the Euros, for example. Came back from 3-1 down, draw 3-3, win in a shootout.
But this tournament has proved a bit unpredictable. It's some way like it's not as straightforward.
I'm caught up in some of the new, well, not new, but technical trends of it. A lot of headed goals have been scored. Have you realized?
Is it the ball?
No, it's not the ball. A lot of teams are building to score that way.
Is it more difficult to score through direct open play?
Because it's an overexploited area.
So now headers are the new.
Yes, a lot of teams are building to swing in crosses.
Because we have had 2 headed goals. No, we've had 2 headed goals.
2 headed goals.
Yes.
Bukhari and Kudus.
Kudus. So, wow.
A lot of teams are crossing the ball.
But the other thing I noticed is that the World Cup, the gap between the teams has reduced. So apart from the random 7-0 and 6-2, like, in the past, 4-0, 5-0, World Cup is now even big team versus small team, 2-1, 3-1.
Yeah.
It's like world football knowledge has spread to a point where once a team gets to the World Cup, they are good enough to compete.
Yes. Yes.
They are good enough to compete.
They would have 1 or 2 players
who know enough to.
Yeah.
Because even Canada, who we considered naive, if it wasn't for the naivety against the
Croatia,
Canada was really decent in their first game.
Yeah, and you'll see that if you follow the trends, there's been a focus on building Canadian football. They started a professional league about 2 or 3 years ago. They've invested money in a lot of things. They've qualified for the World Cup for the first time since 1986. Another team we should look out for, I see 2 teams I think we should look out for. We might see in the next 2 World Cups at least. 1, Albania.
How many players do they have?
If I start opening Albania's starting 11 for you and you check the kind of teams they play, you will be shocked at this person is Albanian.
And then which other country?
Macedonia.
Bananofio.
I'm telling you. Do you want me to give you an example?
You know why? Because those countries, like many years ago, they were all together around Yugoslavia. But Charlie, on another level, Yugoslavia and their former countries, they do really well. Serbia, Croatia, Slovenia.
Very, very talented.
It's like, I'm even surprised Yugoslavia never won the World Cup. Because if you look at the quality of players that they have collectively produced.
But they did win. The generation that won the Under-20 World Cup for Yugoslavia in the late 80s, that generation went on, a good number of them went on to play for Croatia at France 98.
That includes the former
Prozinski,
and some played for Serbia, the guy who became the Real Madrid's director.
I'm going to name clubs in Albania's starting 11. I'll mention names. Torino, Lazio, Empoli, Roma, Benfica, Grasshoppers, Espanyol, Inter Milan.
As in, these are their national team starting 11 playing in... Oh,
yes.
Okay. Albania. So you think the next Euro they will call it?
If we're not for anything, Granit Xhaka would have been playing there. His brother plays
His brother Toulon plays for Albania.
Oh, okay. What about Shaqiri?
He too.
Oh, so they are Albanians.
Yes.
But okay. So they have talent.
Yes.
Okay, I get it.
If Napoli's Hisash, El Meded's Hisash, all those were Albanians.
Wow.
It's a national team that is coming.
Your second team is what?
Macedonia.
Yeah. All right. So today 2 games.
Yeah, 2 games. 2 at 3, 2 at 7.
Charlie, Senegal more fire. Senegal beat.
Still listening to the Citi Breakfast Show.
Sadio man.
Now, if you've been hustling under the scorching sun and you're tired and thirsty, or you want something to go with your meal, grab yourself a Coca-Cola. 2 Cedi 50 pesos will get you one of that in a returnable glass bottle. It will also get you Fanta Sprite. 3 Cedi 50 pesos will get you Coke Zero Sugar, Fanta and Sprite in the 300 ml plastic bottle. And if you want your favorite Coke Classic, it goes for 3 Cedi 50 pesos, and that's for the 300 ml plastic bottle. Coca-Cola, real refreshment for all occasions. Coke Zero, you need to try it first. The all-new Ghana Pay mobile money service app is here. Download it from the App Store or the Play Store. Ghana Pay transaction be free. You only pay 11. Ghana Pay, your money your way. Now, some people love coaching their football teams from their couch. Yesterday, we were all doing so. Some people love to visit the sweet-smelling perfume shops in France from their phones. Whatever it is you love doing, Surfline is providing data so you can do all of that and more. You also qualify for a free voucher to Surfline partners like X-Men, Cheesy Pizza, Doman Foods, and Body Basics. So get yourself a Surfline device today or top up Surfline better together.
Meanwhile, in this World Cup season, don't just cheer and walk away without getting anything. Channel your passion and football knowledge into good use and drive home a brand new Peugeot Landtrek pickup, courtesy Silver Star. Simply subscribe to Ghana Win 2022 via the website graphicwin2022.com. Read questions and send answers to score points. There are prizes for the 5 highest daily winners, the 3 highest weekly winners, and the 2 highest monthly winners. The overall highest accumulated score gets to drive home a brand new Peugeot Landtrek pickup from Silver Star Auto Ghana. Visit our social media for more details. And it's today the Plus Print Pack and Agro-Food West Africa 2022 exhibition opens this morning at the Accra International Conference Center. There are 20 Italian companies taking part in this exhibition. On display from the Italian companies are machinery for manufacturing, packaging, agricultural machinery and tools, and a whole lot more. Pass by the Italian pavilion for more equipment and deals. Email the Italian trade agency at accra@ice.it. And if Canada is your preferred place of immigration, talk to Askia Immigration Consulting. We are committed to being your source of info, personal advisor, and authorized representative in all your immigration matters for Canada. Now, we are a regulated firm located at 1 Airport Square, Airport City, Accra. Call us on 0506-012-289 or go to askiaimmigration.com or call 0241-318-890 or send an email to welcome@askiaimmigration.com. Askia Immigration, the joy of greatness for your journey to Canada.
Still listening to the Citi Breakfast Show. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we've got more for you. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
What do you get when you mix the best DJs in the country, the most amazing live band sets, delicious cocktails, and wonderful food? Back-to-back hit music from Ghana's finest group, Prayer, and being serenaded by the brilliantly talented Aquabua. The biggest outdoor party, of course. Situation 2022. Are you ready to party? We are changing the situation on December 24, 2022 with the biggest outdoor party in Accra. The Situation Outdoor Party 2022. Let's wrap up the year in style with the most epic party to end all parties this Christmas Eve with Situation. Make your Christmas Eve come alive with the most incredible DJs who will keep you dancing all night long. Amazing live band sets and the crooner Aquabua. It is the perfect ingredient for the best party this festive season. Ain't no party like a city party, because a city party don't stop. This will be another one to remember. Date Saturday 24th December 2022. Venue La Palm Royal Beach Hotel, Accra. Time 8 p.m. Dress code, it's an all-white affair. For table booking, call 020-5973-973 or 055-8973-973. Book your table and make reservations now. Media partners, Ghana Weekend and Citi FM. This is powered by Citi TV. This is a Beyond the Return event.
When they are both full grown, although the trees that are in the wood, the holly bears the brown.
Are you ready to rock the Christmas? The band Kokui presents Nubian Noel 2022. Rock the Christmas. Nubian Noel is the Christmas concert that gives a unique twist to your favorite Christmas carols. Nubian Noel 2022 will take place on 1st December at 6 p.m. at the National Theatre in Accra and will feature Ghana's dynamic Afro-popera band, the band Kokui, and surprise guest artists. Don't miss out on the most magical musical event of the Christmas season. Ticket prices are 200 Ghana cedis for VIP single, 350 Ghana cedis for VIP double, 150 Ghana cedis for standard single, and 250 Ghana cedis for standard double. Call or WhatsApp 055-331-3102 or visit The Band Kokui on all social media platforms. Tickets are available at the Buka Restaurant in Osu, Bar and Bean Restaurant at Embassy Gardens in Cantonments, and at City FM in Adabraka. Nubian Noel 2022 is proudly sponsored by Chango, the crowdfunding and group contribution app, and Access W, and supported by John Dell Limited, Quest Beverages, and Adroyeboy Clothing, and officially endorsed by the Beyond the Return Secretariat. Media partners are City FM and City TV. Nubian Noel 2022. Rock the Christmas.
What is the worst case scenario we will see in the next 6 months if we don't stop this now? You've said 100% in some areas polluted, 60 some.
Yeah.
What's the worst case scenario with regards to our water security as a country in the next 6 months?
The immediate one will be that probably we will not get treated water from that water company. They will have to shut down. The long term is that most of their equipments will be destroyed forever and they have to bring in, so it goes back to the investments. But apart from just us getting water to drink, agriculture is affected already. We are going to have food security issues, not just water security. Economic growth will suffer. We are already in a system where we are struggling to see how best we can come out of this. So it is a complete system.
Forget about them. Nobody can feel love you like I do. I do. Yeah. If it's loving that you want, you can make me your man. If it's loving that you need, baby, come and share my
This is the City Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
If it's loving that you need, baby, come and share my world.
9:25. Sounds of Aquabwa. You'll be hearing a lot more from him at the Situation Outdoor Party December 24. Call 0205 973 973 0558 973 973 to book a table and get more details. Because it's been a long year. Between now and then, though, there are major things you need to think about. If you are a business and you borrow, wahala for you. Because Charlie, the bank. Alaski, earlier this week, you predicted something, and it really came to pass. You said the interest rates were going to go up. Charlie? And they have gone up, really. The Bank of Ghana, well, they increased their monetary policy rate by 250 basis points to 27%. Now
it's the highest level in 19 years. Wow. Almost 20 years.
Yeah. Dr. Addison is the governor of the Bank of Ghana. He says that he says everything is being done to check inflation. And he also says that
inflation is not checking.
Yeah, he says he's also refuted claims that the major gold companies in the country were consulted. He says, look, they were consulted on the gold for oil policy.
From the question on the Bank of Ghana's claim on government has gone up, is it worth raising the policy rate? Gold for oil program. The 2023 budget is expansionary. Does it worry you? Average rates going up, inflation expectations going up. Whether the budget was just read for constitutional purposes rather than anything. I think clearly, maybe let me start with the budget, that as you know, we are facing a budget or a fiscal situation that is not sustainable. And the budget is supposed to address both the issue of fiscal sustainability and debt sustainability. And I think it's very clear from the minister's presentation that the 2023 budget will not be expansionary. So those who are arguing that the budget is expansionary are wrong. The only reason that you are saying that now is, as you, Thomas, rightly said, because the discussions have not been concluded with the IMF, and therefore, at the end of the discussions with the fund and after the debt exchange operations are undertaken, you will see that the debt service burden on the budget will be removed. So the interest payments that have been projected for 2023, as well as amortization of debt that have been projected for 2023 will be revised depending on how successful the debt operation is. And the expectation is that these numbers would go down significantly. So that should lead to a relatively lower budget deficit than is currently shown in the budget. But really, the objective is to ensure that the budget is on the path of consolidation. Similarly, the debt would have to be on the path of sustainability, and that's why there's a plan to implement the debt operations. Which brings me back to Elon's question on Bank of Ghana's claims on the bank and whether it's worth raising the policy rate, which is a good question. I've had that question thrown at me several times. But we have to keep our eye focused on our mandate, which is to ensure price stability. So what you are seeing in terms of Bank of Ghana's claims is just a temporary accommodation till the end of this year, till the IMF program is successfully concluded. And once that is successfully concluded, once that the debt operation is successfully implemented, there will be no need for Bank of Ghana accommodation going into 2023. In fact, we do not expect the central bank to finance the budget into 2023. That should be a thing of the past. Similarly, the question on the reserves, I believe that was George Uyafi's question on the medium-term issue on reserves, which, again, if we are successful with the restructuring operations, the burden on the balance of payments in terms of interest payments, external interest payments, would also be lifted. So we do not expect to see the same type of outflows that we have seen this year. Now remember, this year alone, even though we didn't go to the capital market, we still had to service our debt. The numbers that I have suggest that we experienced an outflow of 5.2 billion year to date in 2022. That's the extent of, pressure on the central bank's reserves, because we have to pay for our loans. Almost 3 billion outflows to service debt, interest and amortization. Almost 800 million to pay for energy payments. Another 1.8 billion to support the functioning of the market. So these are financing imports, financing both oil and non-oil imports. So you're seeing a situation where on the outflow side, these are almost obligations. You cannot default on external debt servicing. So as I speak, we are still servicing our debt. And we know that on the inflow side, the only major flows that have come to support the budget this year is the Afri-Exim Bank loan. That's it. And then, fortunately, we've also had the cocoa loan inflow in October. So on a net basis, we've lost from the balance of payments almost 3.4 billion US dollars as at the end of September. We are projecting that we would even lose more. So by December, we could have lost 4 billion US dollars. And then the question arises as to how you intend to deal with that. And some of the innovations, yes, you are right. We saw the IMF financing as an important part in the outlook. It's a program, hopefully, that would bring in 3 billion over the 3-year period. But some of the things that we are doing in terms of trying to buy gold, for example, is to help to improve reserve buffers. Those are some of the more innovative things that the central bank has done. And this, I believe, answers the question raised by Atayebwa on the behavior of our reserves from the beginning of the year to date. I hope that you understand why we have seen reserves decline significantly. The issue of the policy rate increases despite inflation going up. I took my time to explain that in the statement that I just read. That, well, I mean, we saw the monthly inflation rates declining between May and August. So it's not as if the policy rates were being increased and there was no impact on the headline inflation. But when you have a situation where you have a shock upon a shock upon a shock, and the shocks are not abating, really, this is really what 2022 has been about, different types of shocks coming in. So you find yourself in a situation in which inflation becomes persistent. And when you have inflation becoming persistent, it affects the way people behave. Economic agents behave differently because they are all forming inflation expectations. And they modify their behavior depending on what you are engaged in. This is your inflation expectations influence your price setting behavior. Labor is resetting their expectations on wages because they think that, oh, inflation is going up by, 30%. So what should be the adjustment in, wage cost in 2023? They are forming their expectations on the basis of what has happened to inflation and leading to more persistence. And then you have those that are also indexing prices to the dollar, right? So they just compare the current exchange rate and they'll tell you what the price is. I hear most of the supermarkets in Accra now have removed the price tags, right? So they've indexed the prices to the US dollar. So depending on the dollar rate for the day, they will tell you what the price of the good is. So these are the things which lead to persistence in the inflation rate. And our job is to re-anchor these expectations. And you can re-anchor expectations if your policy rate is delivering the decline in prices as expected. But unfortunately for us, we have seen one shock after another shock after another shock. Those are the dynamics of the inflation. But then we also have fundamental issues that we have to address, such as the fiscal problem, very large deficit, which is not getting the adequate financing, and therefore central bank is providing the financing on a temporary basis. That doesn't help. Hopefully by the end of this year, that would not be there to complicate the inflation management issue.
So that was the governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Ernest Addison. Alaski, so yeah, Charlie.
It's not looking good, crowd.
Why? Why? What's going on?
But haven't you read the headline?
They're the same headlines you've been reading. The numbers just keep going.
The numbers just keep.
Interest rates have hit an all-time high of 31.4%. Suleiman Mustafa read that.
Yeah.
And part of that is because of what Dr. Addison just
spoke about. Yeah.
This is the 5th straight time he's raised the so-called policy rate. It's now 27%. And you know, I've said it so many times, inflation is very bad because when you have inflation, it erodes your income. So many central banks try to control inflation. But Godfred, what that is doing is that by persistently raising the interest rates, you are making it impossible for people to go and borrow.
Yes. So the graphic accounts for that story.
So because because of what the central bank has done over the past 5 or so cycles, average rates of loans given to individuals is now over 30%.
Yes, 31.
The last consumer survey they did, most business owners are very pessimistic about the economy. So you are going to have crowding out of businesses. People don't have access to credit. And there's also going to be a lot of bad debts because
people can pay
their loans. So you are trying to control inflation and you've been raising interest rates for the past 5 cycles. It's not working. You know, and I think the key to all of this is the fiscal issue that he can't really say. You know, he said we have a large deficit. I mean, Godfred, the laws of Ghana are very explicit about how much central bank can finance a government. Okay? You are not supposed to finance your government based on the Bank of Ghana's own law more than 5% of the previous year's revenue. All right? So last year, our revenue was about 70 billion cedis. So if you use the Bank of Ghana's own law, by calculation, about 3.5 billion cedis is what the Bank of Ghana should have advanced to the government, as into the fiscal side, to the finance ministry. The finance ministry took over 22 billion from the central bank. All right? So the problem we are facing is our fiscals are out of control. And in trying to use the monetary policy to control inflation, it's not going to work. The real elephant in the room is the fiscal, some people call it fiscal populism. All right? You're reading this year 2023 budget, you are still talking about flagship programs. And if you are in a world where you've had multiple crises, COVID, all this Russia-Ukraine thing, exchange rate has deteriorated almost 60% in like 2 months. Why are you still doing all these teacher training allowance, all these things that you've been advertising as political slogans as part of your thing? You know, so somebody asked the governor, you've been raising interest rates. Inflation is not coming down. Does that not tell you that maybe the problems underlying inflation are not monetary? So, yes, in your toolkit, you have only monetary tools.
Yes.
But you probably should be more upfront and tell the finance ministry people, you should stop lending to them.
I think that's something that needs to be done right now.
I think they have allowed the fiscal side of things to get out of control. They have. And that is part of the problem. All right, that's part of the problem. The other problem we face is that the currency depreciation has become so bad that now we are talking about buying crude oil or finished oil products. Buying oil with gold. So basically the logic is that you produce gold in Ghana.
Yeah.
You use cedis to buy the gold
from the 20% from the mining companies.
And then you
exchange that for oil.
You give the gold to the Middle East people and they'll give you the oil. It's happened before in other countries. I don't know if it's going to work. You need to look at the way gold prices behave versus oil prices. You need to look at the exchange rate between the cedi and the dollar. You are using cedis to buy the gold, and then you are getting dollar-denominated oil in return. So it requires a lot of things. I don't know how well they've thought through this. It seems to be a desperate move. Seems like our reserves have deteriorated so badly in the past few months. Like, we have less than 3 months of import cover.
We've heard.
So, look, we are at our wits' end. And listening to Dr. Addison yesterday is like, you know, he's tired.
He didn't sound it, and he's always sounded quite confident of what he's doing with the monetary side of things.
No, he's not. See, if you look at, Bloomberg did a tracking of 11 countries, looking at their policy rate and the inflation rate, right? So the best situation in the 11 track countries is Angola, where you have a real positive real interest rate. So essentially, if your inflation rate is lower than your main interest rate, you are in a good position, right? Ghana has a massively negative real interest rate. It simply means that our inflation rate is over 40%. It's so high, and it's much, much higher than our interest rate. So the governor keeps raising the interest rate to bridge that gap. But a negative real interest rate means that banks can go for money from the central bank and lend back to the central bank at a higher rate, worsening government's financial position. So we are in a very difficult situation, and the interest rate being raised is not really helping. I'm not sure they have other tools in their toolkit. I think the main problem in Ghana's economy is the fiscal side, which has gone out of control. And somehow it's like if you have a dysfunctional marriage, for a country's economy to work, the fiscal and the monetary must sing from the same hymn sheet, right? And I think our fiscals have gone out of control for a long time, and for some reason, we are not able to rein them in. Which is why, if you listen to the MPs from the majority and minority side, they keep blaming the finance minister. And when the finance minister was asked at the recent parliamentary hearing why he had borrowed 22 billion from the central bank, he said, "Oh, because we have to keep the lights on and things like this." I think that's a real issue here, and the governor is a bit restrained. He can't openly condemn, because he has also contributed to it by allowing. I feel the monetary authorities ought to be firmer with the government and say, based on our law, if you want us to give you this, you have to change the law. So that's one side of the argument. Second side, this issue of lack of clarity over haircuts. I mean, you just had a budget read. The next day, Deputy Finance Minister grants an interview and starts mentioning percentages.
Yep.
All right. Then the Minister of Finance issues a statement to say, contrary to what has been said in the media, this is the position. It's very similar to what the president said and the Minister of Information. So you are it's like, why?
That was mixed messages.
And you see, in an economy where clarity and signal to market is so critical, having this distorted and this lack of clarity worsens the situation. So now Graphic is now reporting, graphic business, debt restructuring, Euro bond holders face 30% cut, T-bill investors exempt. I don't know. I really don't know what I'm not inspired by what I heard yesterday. I'm not very optimistic about the economy. I think 2023 is going to be one of the toughest economic years we faced as a country. I think it's going to be very tough, because my little knowledge of the way the IMF works and thinks is that, looking at the history of Ghana's overspending in election years, and looking at the amount of money we need from the IMF, there's no way IMF is going to agree to a budget that doesn't, quote unquote, front load our expenditure measures. So they are going to say, get as much as you can this year and spend as little as you can this 2023, because we can't trust you in 2024. So I'm not very optimistic. And there doesn't sound to be a coordinated path out. The government has some 7
steps.
7-point agenda for economic recovery. I'm not very optimistic. I need to keep an eye on the gold for oil thing, to see if that will be, because the fuel being the main driver of inflation. So the inflation is pushed by exchange rate and fuel. Okay. We import about 10 billion cedis. A lot of that is petroleum. I hope it works. Maybe we can spend a different program analyzing that. I haven't done the numbers. If that works, it releases pressure on the currency. Our reserves will grow, because we spend a lot of our monies. I mean, our reserves have dwindled because almost all our reserves have been used in buying crude and finished products. So these are
also paying off interest rates on loans and things.
A lot. We are paying a lot of things, and if we don't even take care, in a couple of years as well, some of the oil agreements, the power purchase agreements, some payments are also due. We may not have enough money if they don't raise tariffs from the PURC side. So government and Nathan, I'm happy with Black Stars, and I hope they keep winning, because on the economy I don't have hope.
They will end. You have to. The economy is the everyday thing.
On the economy, I'm not optimistic at all.
But what are your thoughts on the plan to jumpstart the SME space? So last week, for instance, Thursday, Friday, every newspaper was focusing on the U-Start and what it means for the economy. And I think also today's business, either the Daily Graphic or the graphic business, also makes reference to the push to jumpstart the business space with this You Start?
For me, I can only judge You Start based on the performance of previous government attempts. It's always well intended but never ends well. I've said before that if you want to support businesses, give them tax reliefs. It makes more sense to keep the business running, because a bird in hand is worth two in the bush. If you have 10 businesses, of which 5 are collapsing because they don't have enough money and they're paying too much tax, wouldn't it make sense to give those 5 the relief than to say, let me go and give new money to somebody who's starting? I'm not saying don't support startups, but if you have money, I don't see how You Start becomes the solution. I don't see how You Start. It's another fiscal. I mean, even if, the other thing about You Start, the You Start has different angles. I don't know which bank will give a startup money at which interest rate. So you notice that the You Start, even the You Start, is the part that government is giving directly that they are announcing. Because if you're a bank in Ghana now, and you are supposed to give a loan to a small business to start, what interest rate are you going to give them the loan? Average interest rates are 31%. So You Start cannot be the answer, no matter how elegantly it is named and no matter how many newspapers write about it. You get me? Last week we did a poll. You asked businesses, what's the most important thing you want? Stable prices and lower taxes to keep us running. So giving You Start a lot of media coverage does not make it the solution. All right. I think we should keep an eye on the oil gold thing. If it works, that could be a stroke of a good whoever came up with the idea. If it works,
it looks like it's coming from the vice president because he's the one fronting it. But the accusation has also been, how deep was the consultation on this? Because listening to the governor, he mentioned, we had a meeting with the mining companies, and they proved cooperative. And I asked myself, is it one meeting?
My main concern with that is whether it will even, the extent to which it will lead to a reduction in the price you pay at the pump. Because you see, there are independent arrangements between two things. The gold exporters, they already have arrangements with the people who buy the gold. So BOG says, I'm going to buy some of your gold. No problem. That may require some issue. Now, the oil we bring is brought in by the BDCs. Now, government controls only 25% of that oil. So, if Shell and Total want to still bring in their finished product and sell, they will still sell it. Gold cannot meet the needs of the whole market. So even if the government of Ghana gets oil direct, finished product direct from Dubai or wherever, toll is not working. So we are going to process the oil here. So what we are going to buy from the Middle East, I don't know whether it's finished product or crude. And even if you get that, will it be enough to bring down the total price? Do you get me? So, I mean, and it's a desperate solution.
Yeah, and that's why I'm saying that it would have been interesting to hear the expanded version of this idea, which is where the criticism has come in from some areas of civil society and others who are saying, how deep was the consultation? How deep was the conversation? It sounds like a laudable idea, but how well have you thought through?
That's the
have you answered the questions?
You haven't, because you see, the main question with your extractives is that on average, you get so much less than comparable countries. I've said it before. IFS, Institute of Fiscal Studies, Said Boachi and Co. They did a brilliant paper in 2018 and analyzed Ghana's revenues from gold compared to Botswana's revenues from bauxite. It's not even comparable. Botswana gets over 60% of all the value of bauxite produced in the country to their government. We get 20%. When you do oil, Nigeria gets almost 60%. We get 19%. So that's the question to answer. So the fact that you are buying gold with your cedis doesn't really address the issue of, I mean, the mining companies, are they telling us that producing gold in Ghana is 5 times as expensive as producing bauxite in Botswana? So that's the question. But you see, it's a longer, more difficult question. So we always come up with a short-term solution. The quicker one that doesn't require too much thinking through and requires a bit of, let's solve the problem now.
But I'm also thinking that.
So the long-term problem is to find a way of having a national carried interest that is active. Don't cede the space to the private. Let me give you an example. If you own 5% of a mining company and you don't have board representation, and they say the cost of the Takwa mine was 7 million, and we made a profit of just 2 million. There's no way you can check that. But if you are actively participating and you have a board membership, you have management people, they can say, no, the cost of this mine is only 100 million. So the profit is 8 million, we share it. So the governments have been very bad in managing our interest in mines. So the mining companies, through shady accounting and all the things they do, they make a lot of profit over us. So we don't make enough money from our extractives. And countless accounting people have said, be more careful about that. That's where to get the revenue. But we don't want to do that. Because either it's too difficult, we think that when people run things for government, we put political appointees there, they are not well trained. I don't know what it is. You get me? So you're not raising enough revenue. All your tax initiative, look at your tax initiative. You say you are reducing e-levy to 1%. You are increasing VAT to 15%. What are you really doing? Do you get me? So I am not very optimistic. I don't see any radical ideas. I think a lot of these Ghanaians are going to struggle more. 2023, cut your coat according to your size. Reduce the expenditure. If you have 2 cars, sell 1. Take trotrom more. Eat local food. That's what I'm going to say. Because I don't see how this,
situation clears up just like that.
You are raising interest rates to 31%. And then you say you are giving somebody money to do you.
Start a business.
Do you understand? Why? And he can't lower the interest rate because inflation keeps going up. And inflation is eroding everything people are earning. And whilst we are saying that people are getting their investments, so like people need money now. You've saved money with a fund management company. You put there 100,000. You're expecting to get 150,000. Now you are getting a reaction to 90,000 because of mark to market. Do you understand? Some companies invest their salaried money into these companies, and now they are getting this mark to market haircut thing. It is a very serious situation, and I'm not seeing collective action from our government. I don't think government has really woken up to smell the coffee. I'm telling you, and we are going to be in a very difficult situation next year. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. It's going to be very tough. So I don't know.
Well, Bernard has said it all. I returned from an international conference recently where there was a lot of talk about the global economic outlook, the role that the situation in Ukraine is playing, and how it's affected energy and food supplies for that matter, and the fact that the economy of the world is still in some form of recession because of COVID-19. So a lot of funding sources have dried up, and then also appetite for helping Ghana and African countries is actually to a large extent dried up because of Western powers turning their attention towards Ukraine and seeking to help them. Again, a number of some policy decisions or attempts to make some policy decisions have also affected how foreign funding will be available to those of us who need that level of support. So, as Bernard has stated, the solution really should be coming in from us, how we approach things going forward. But clearly, as I said much earlier, it does seem that we have not developed the right approach to deal with the problems. It is not about raising interest rates necessarily, or perhaps seeking to mop up excess liquidity in the system. Because if you look at it, there's no excess liquidity. I don't have money in my pocket.
They are just sending a signal with the interest rate hike. It's not a liquidity they are trying to mop. They are sending a signal that we are trying to correct a fundamental problem with inflation, so that people who are portfolio investors will still have confidence in investing here. So the reason for raising the interest rate is not necessarily to just mop up liquidity, but they are saying if you have money in America or wherever and you want to invest, if UK is giving you 5%, Ghana is giving you 28% or more.
So bring it here.
Yes, that's what they are trying to say. And that we are trying to tame inflation. That's what they are trying to say.
Yeah. But seriously, I think much more radical things need to be done. And let me also say quickly that every time we are criticizing those who are in the finance ministry, but we tend to forget that many of these decisions that came to be implemented went through Parliament. So the MPs themselves should have a closer look at themselves and their own role in some of these things. Questionable, loans come before them. Questionable agreements come before them. It is their job as, the people who police the public purse to ensure that these things are properly scrutinized, the right decisions made, questions asked. They won't do it. You wait until, problems hit after whatever, and then you come and complain that is the minister responsible for this and that and that. They have a role to play in all of this.
And now where we are now is what's even more precarious is that if they don't pass the budget, we won't get the IMF money.
Yeah.
So the minority have to strike a balance between opposing what they consider to be a budget that is going to make Ghanaians suffer, and also the consequence of not having the deal, which could lead to economic disaster.
Tough times. Still listening to the Citi Breakfast Show. We'll go for a quick break. When we come back, we'll wrap it all up and call it a morning.
Fine, anyone can become the house.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
When they are both full grown, although the trees that are in the wood, the holly bears the crown.
Are you ready to rock the Christmas? The band Kokui presents Nubian Noel 2022. Rock the Christmas. Nubian Noel is the Christmas concert that gives a unique twist to your favorite Christmas carols. Nubian Noel 2022 will take place on 1st December at 6 p.m. at the National Theatre in Accra and will feature Ghana's dynamic Afro-popera band, the band Kokui, and surprise guest artists. Don't miss out on the most magical musical event of the Christmas season. Ticket prices are 200 Ghana cedis for VIP single, 350 Ghana cedis for VIP double, 150 Ghana cedis for standard single, and 250 Ghana cedis for standard double. Call or WhatsApp 055-331-3102 or visit The Band Kokui on all social media platforms. Tickets are available at the Booker Restaurant in Osu, Bar and Bean Restaurant at Embassy Gardens in Cantonments, and at City FM in Adabraka. Nubian Noel 2022 is proudly sponsored by Chango, the crowdfunding and group contribution app, and Access W, and supported by John Dell Limited, Quest Beverages, and Adroyeboa Clothing, and officially endorsed by the Beyond the Return Secretariat. Media partners are City FM and City TV. Nubian Noel 2022. Rock the Christmas.
What do you get when you mix the best DJs in the country, the most amazing live band sets, delicious cocktails, and wonderful food? Back-to-back hit music from Ghana's finest group Prayer and being serenaded by the brilliantly talented Aquabua. The biggest outdoor party, of course. Situation 2022. Are you ready to party? We're changing the situation on December 24, 2022 with the biggest
This is a real estate company with various properties located at Oyarifa, Imensa, Oyibi, and other preferred locations. Call them on 0244-692-857 or 0246-102-514. You can also visit rthomeplanners.construction@yahoo.com. Many thanks for listening. That's Citi Breakfast Show for the morning. Tuesday, the 29th of November. My name is Nathan Quao. I did this with Bernard, Richard, Godfred. Your messages also came through on 0549986996. We are back tomorrow with more. Up next is the news at 10, and Eno Safo has the details.